It is 5:30 and we have clear skies, 59 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman, and for the most part, we have clear roads as well. We do have some pretty nice weather for today, and then as we head into tomorrow, we're going to see some rain. Sunshine mixing with clouds today. Breezy and very warm this afternoon with a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, breezy, otherwise mostly cloudy and warm, periods of rain and a thunderstorm late. Low 64. Tomorrow, clouds and a shower early, then some sun at times in the afternoon with a thunderstorm in spots late and a high of 75. It's 59 degrees downtown at the Arch.
A deadly daytime shooting near the Metrolink station in the Delmar Loop. St. Louis police say they've investigated after a man was killed in the 700 block of Hodemont around 3. Fox 2 reports eyewitnesses say two men got into an argument while getting off a Metro bus at the transit center there, and one reportedly shot the other in the head.
People across the area have been showing up by the hundreds to fight data centers in Festus, St. Charles, Pacific.
And the day after St. Louis City approved one in the Armory area, those concerns echo through a Senate hearing room. Josh Hawley told HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. that neighbors' health questions are not going away.
They worry about decibel levels, causing things like headaches, migraines, vertigo, other neurological disorders.
Kennedy says the risks deeply concern him.
There's a range of injuries that are very, very well documented. They're neurological, very, very grave neurological injuries, cancer risk, and then just making the blood-brain barrier permeable so more toxins can get into the brain.
Kennedy says he's asked the Surgeon General's office to begin reviewing the science. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
St. Louisans who've seen the Royals in Chiefs Stadium along I-70 on road trips might be interested in the Royals' plans for a stadium replacement. Instead of creating a ballpark village-type district from scratch like the Cardinals tried to do, the Royals are instead hooking into an existing one. It's Crown Center, which includes a mall, a Legoland, and the headquarters of Hallmark Cards. Hallmark Executive Chairman Don Hall notes the stadium will be built into a natural 90-foot drop by the center's plaza, keeping it very low to the street.
You see that you get a chance to see the green grass if you're standing on the square. You know, what's more inviting than seeing the green in December and looking forward to the baseball season starting. So this will feel like it's really part of the community.
Royals owner John Sherman says the open layout is meant to drive retail and pedestrian traffic 365 days a year, not just on game days.
Well, sounds like they should call that Hallmark Park. We'll see.
Sounds like it.
5:33, and the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We'll check your Money Minute next.
For contractors, it's true that time is money. Let Menards save you a bit of both. You'll find the best selection and prices in our real lumber yards and drive-through warehouses. You can drive right up to the materials you purchased in-store or on Menards.com with plenty of room to load them directly into your truck or van. It's more efficient at Menards. We help contractors get in, out, and back on the job.
Save big money at Menards.
Unexpected pregnancies can feel overwhelming, but you're not alone. At Vitality Women's Clinic in Godfrey, caring professionals provide free and confidential services for women and families. From pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, and options education to STD testing and ongoing support, Vitality is here to walk alongside you every step of the way. If you or someone you know needs help, hope, or simply someone to talk to, we're here. Visit VitalityWomen'sClinic.com to learn more or schedule a confidential appointment. Vitality Women's Clinic, supporting women, strengthening families, and bringing hope to our community.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Soar with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in Rachmaninoff's Third. Taking Flight. Assistant conductor Samuel Hollister and pianist Gabriela Montero make their SLSO classical subscription debut in Prokofiev's thrilling Third Piano Concerto. Enjoy Gabriela Smith's sky-inspired Tumblebird Contrails, Rachmaninoff's Third Symphony, April 24th and 25th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
It is 5:35. Thanks for tuning into Total Information AM on this Thursday morning. We are going to get you updated on traffic and weather coming up in about 4 minutes. But first, your money report sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Tesla expects to spend billions of dollars more this year to support Elon Musk's efforts to turn the electric vehicle pioneer into an AI and robotics company. Tesla plans to spend more than $25 billion. That's 3 times more than what it doled out last year. Tesla's auto business has declined for the past 2 years, putting greater pressure on these new initiatives. Checking on your money, the S&P 500 climbed to an all-time high yesterday on a slew of strong company earnings results, including Boeing. This morning, stocks are seeing a pullback as peace negotiations with Iran remain stalled. S&P futures are down 39 points, Dow futures dropping 310. And Southwest Airlines is hitting turbulence when it comes to soaring jet fuel prices. The airline reported quarterly profit and revenue that fell just shy of Wall Street expectations. The airline is also in the middle of a major corporate makeover that includes adding premium seating and other initiatives designed to improve its finances. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
In 1991, John and Cindy Morelli started Morelli Tuck Pointing. As of today, they've won just about every award possible for the tuck pointing business. The BBB Torch Award, the Next Door Neighborhood Fave Award, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. For homeowners, this is a great time to get a free inspection of your basement, your brick or stone fireplace, your garage interior, your porch, and maybe even your walkway. Indoor tuck pointing can be started now. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. My wife Beth and I have used Morelli Tuck Pointing to work on 2 of our homes now over the last 25 years. We have found the Morelli bids to be fair, their crews are very polite, and they clean up after themselves. But most importantly, their work is beautiful. Family owned and operated since 1991. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
We're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
538, Illinois surpasses 100 tornadoes for the 4th year in a row. CBS News correspondent Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago.
As of April 22nd, the preliminary count for tornadoes across the state of Illinois stands at 101 and counting, nearly double the annual average of 54. Last Friday, an EF2 twister with 130-mile-per-hour winds struck the northwest Illinois town of Leno, where Rich Tessendorf lives.
This community helps everybody, no matter where they're from. Just overwhelming the support.
Illinois also leads the nation in hail reports, and heavy rain has led to flooding. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
Families of 5 children killed in a central Illinois crash are now taking legal action.
There were no protective barriers whatsoever that would have stopped the forward momentum of that vehicle.
The families have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against both the driver and the Why Not after-school camp in Chatham, Illinois. The suit claims the facility was built too close to a highway in violation of safety codes and lacked adequate barriers to protect children. Lance Northcutt is partner with Slavi, Shostak, and Pritchard, and he's representing the families.
This vehicle came in through the wall. They couldn't have seen it coming, and by the time they saw that vehicle, it was already in. And what happened inside is beyond comprehension.
The driver, Marianne Akers, was never criminally charged. Her attorney says she suffered a seizure and had no recollection of the crash. The April 2025 incident killed 5 children ranging in age from 7 to 18.
We're talking about children that were killed, that were dragged, and other children, their classmates, some of whom are siblings of these children that were killed, that watched this entire thing unfold.
Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
It's 5:40 on KMOX. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we have a vehicle off the road now, eastbound Highway 70, right just before the Blanchette Bridge, in the just off the ramp from the 5th Street entrance to Highway 70 eastbound before the Blanchette Bridge. Vehicle off the road. Emergency crews are now on the scene there, blocking that right shoulder. I saw earlier before the emergency crews showed up, saw some folks walking around over there around the vehicle that is down in that ditch between the mainline highway and the ramp from 5th Street. Also, had just had a call come in eastbound Highway 64, just a little past Winghaven near the 8-mile marker. Reports of a pickup truck that had an accident, but it had a camper shell on the back of it, and apparently that camper shell may have flown over into the westbound 64 lanes out near Winghaven after it had the accident. So pay attention to that. Our only other slowdowns are out westbound or eastbound on Highway 70, starting at Wright City, headed through the work zone near Forest Dell. So that's the good news. This update is brought to you by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Our next traffic update at 5:50. I'm Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixing with clouds today. Breezy and very warm this afternoon with a high of 84. Breezy this evening, mostly cloudy and warm overnight with some rain and a thunderstorm late, though 64. For tomorrow, clouds and a shower early, then some sun at times in the afternoon with a late day thunderstorm in spots, the high 75. A nice day Saturday with more sun than clouds, high 79. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 59 in Florissant, 58 in St. Peters. Clear sky, 59 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It was a show that pretty much freaked people out. That was Baby Reindeer. Matt Roush of TV Guide magazine is joining us, and Richard Gadd, who really made his breakthrough, has a new show.
Yeah, he won a bunch of Emmys for Baby Reindeer on Netflix, but now he's moved over to HBO for a series that premieres on Thursdays called Half Men, and he stars alongside Jamie Bell, who we've seen on movies ever since Billy Elliot and you name it, but they are playing sort of soul brothers. They were raised together. They're not brothers by blood, but they are basically blood brothers in many ways, but they couldn't be more different. Richard Gadd plays a character named Reuben, who is volatile and violent and scary, whereas Jamie Bell plays his brother, who is much more meek, and it follows them over 30 years, where Niall, who's the character played by Jamie Bell, is getting married, and Reuben pops in uninvited, unwanted, and it follows their history over all these decades, and it's this mutually self-destructive bond that they have with each other, where one turns against the other, and it always ends badly, and it's not an easy show to watch. If Reindeer made you cringe, this will make you squirm. It really is just absolutely harrowing, emotionally and violently, but yet again, it's Richard Gadd's brand to make you uncomfortable when you're watching, but it is also riveting drama.
Fans of Stranger Things were convinced that this was not the last season, so there's more Stranger Things, but not really.
Well, not really. It's an animated series this time called Stranger Things, Tales from 85. It all drops again on Thursday, so we can watch it right now. They rewind the clock a bit to 1985, which is around the time of the third season of the series. The mall has not yet opened, but it turns out that there was an adventure that we never saw. But now the characters are animated. All the characters you know and love have this supernatural adventure. It takes place in the winter, and there's some kind of monster lurking in the snow and the upside down. They meet a few new friends, a few new enemies. So if you were a fan of Stranger Things, this one has a bit of a lighter tone. It's an animated series, all available to stream. And yes, the franchise, I'm sure there is more yet to come.
For fans of Matlock on CBS, interesting way to end the season.
Yeah, it's a two-parter that ends tonight, and they've been promising a game changer, and I do tell you that it does deliver on that promise. A lot of people wonder what will happen if Matlock's crusade. You know, Kathy Bates has been playing this sort of two-sided character. She pretends to be Maddie Matlock, but she's actually Madeline Kingston, pretending to be Matlock so she can take down this law firm that hid the results of an opioid study that she blames for her daughter's death. And so her revenge plot, what if it ever comes to fruition? What will happen next? Well, you kind of find out all this in this two-part episode. Sets up a third season where I think everything is going to be very different, but Matlock will still be Matlock, and that's the good news for fans of the show and for fans of Kathy Bates, one of her best roles. No end in sight for that show.
That is Matt Roush of TV Guide magazine joining us on Total Information AM.
The Redbird
Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
I'm John Rooney, and yesterday in Miami, the Cardinals did not start Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, or Alec Burleson, as the Cardinals, following a day off today, will have 17 consecutive games, beginning with a 3-game series against Seattle coming up tomorrow night. The Cardinals just couldn't get anything going until Gorman got a double in the 7th inning. Nolan made third base and was stranded there. He was the first Cardinal runner to make second and third in the game. And then Ivan Herrera greeted Luke Bacher with a home run on the first pitch of the 9th inning, the only Cardinal run as Miami won 4-1. The win to Jansen Junk, he went 5 innings, 1-2. Kyle Leahy was the loser, 2-3. Pete Fairbanks had to come on to save the game, getting the last 2 outs. He has 5 saves and 6 save opportunities. The Cardinals are home to open that series against Seattle tomorrow night. 7:15 is game time, and Andre Palante will be on the mound looking for his 3rd win.
All right, John, appreciate it. It sounds like all the offense was in Norfolk as the Memphis Redbirds took on the Tides.
Named big league stars. As Crook tees off, he unleashes that power and sends a moonbeam over the party deck to right. I said it was 318. Wouldn't have mattered if it was 418. As Crooks takes one out, and Memphis, with one big swing of that bat, now up by 3.
Officially measured at 387 feet, but anyway, it was a bomb for Jimmy Crooks. You know who else blasted one was Joshua Baez. Let's take a listen to that one. Here it is from that Norfolk television broadcast.
The 2-2 pitch is belted to left, and that one is not coming back. Baez standing and admiring it as it flies well out of here. A 3rd consecutive inning with a Memphis home run as the Redbirds now lead by.
They have some big-time sluggers down there. That was a 435-foot shot from Joshua Baez that went 108 miles per hour off his bat. The 22-year-old has homered in back-to-back games for the AAA Memphis Redbirds twice in the span of 2 weeks. Crooks and Baez and Nelson Velasquez also homered as Memphis won that game 9-7 over Norfolk. As John said, a day off today for the Cardinals, and we'll have the broadcast tomorrow against the Mariners at Busch Stadium. The NFL draft is today, and it is Fernando Mendoza expected to go first to the Las Vegas Raiders, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, national champion out of Indiana. St. Louis and Jeremiah Love could be picked as high as 3rd to Arizona. CBS has him projected as going 4th overall, the Notre Dame and CBC running back to the Tennessee Titans. How about the Chiefs? They have them picking Jordan Tyson, 9th overall, the wide receiver from Arizona State. We'll see how it all goes down tonight in Pittsburgh. As for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they are on the ropes right now in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They lost to Philadelphia 5-2 last night. They're down 3-0 in that series. Dallas went up 2-1 on Minnesota with a 4-3 double overtime victory, and Anaheim evened things up with Edmonton with a 6-4 win. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Spring is here. Hi, this is Tim Gamma. And I'm Tom Gamma. When it comes to tree care, call the name you can trust. Gamma Tree Experts, founded by our dad, Frank Gamma, in 1954.
Frank will be 91 this year, and the 3rd generation of Gammas have joined the business.
Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Now in our 72nd year.
For pruning, fertilization, and removal, call Gamma Tree Experts today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 5:51. Time to check in with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Debbie, we're still watching this vehicle off the road incident eastbound Highway 70 just before the Blanchette Bridge. Some of the emergency vehicles have pulled away, so that right shoulder is still blocked, though, eastbound Highway 70, right at Fifth Street, the ramp from Fifth Street onto eastbound Highway 70. So that's still there. Working with that new incident, it's eastbound Highway 64. I told you about it last time, that I thought it was near Winghaven, near the 8-mile marker. It's actually at Highway K, eastbound Highway 64. Lots of emergency vehicles over on the right shoulder, as well as a vehicle in the left shoulder, eastbound Highway 64. It was reported as a camper shell that blew off the back of a pickup truck. I also see a vehicle on the left shoulder, westbound Highway 64. This is also near Highway K. Our other slowdowns are headed into Wentzville, eastbound on Highway 70. Make your way towards Wentzville from Wright City. That's road construction through there. So that's what has you slowing in that stretch. Westbound on Highway 44, we had road construction as well near 141, seeing a little bit of a slowdown there as well. Our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route this morning is 270 northbound, delay-free now between 5544 and Highway 64. The McKelvey Home Spring Event is one of the best they've ever had in years. Rates as low as 4.75% and savings of up to $124,000 on move-in ready homes. The event ends May 31st. Schedule your tour today at McKelvey Homes and move up to McKelvey. Our next traffic update at 5:58. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
As for our weather, AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says sunshine mixing with clouds, breezy, very warm this afternoon, high of 84. Tonight, breezy, low 64, chance of a rain and a thunderstorm late. Tomorrow, that thunderstorm threat is also late. Otherwise, some sun at times in the afternoon and a high of 75. Currently, it's mostly clear, 59 downtown at the Arch.
It's 5:53. A bill moving through the Missouri Capitol is putting the focus on children left behind after deadly drunk driving crashes. The Senate has passed what's now called Bentley and Mason's Law, legislation that would require drunk drivers convicted of killing a parent or guardian to financially support the surviving children. Republican State Senator Mike Henderson of St. Francis County is the bill sponsor.
My belief is when you take the parents away from children, then you bear some of the responsibility because you were reckless enough to drive while impaired or drunk. Take these lives and change these children's life forever. And think of child support.
Under Bentley and Mason's Law, a judge could order the convicted drunk driver to pay child support until the child turns 18 or up to 21 in some cases. That bill now moves to the House for further debate.
Missouri voters will get their chance to decide whether to gradually eliminate the state income tax and expand sales taxes on goods and services. The state legislature has passed the proposed change to the Missouri Constitution that is a priority for Governor Mike Kehoe. State Representative Bishop Davidson of Southwest Missouri's Republic is the sponsor of the proposal.
We have been reducing income taxes over the last decade, began those triggers, I believe it was 2016. We've reduced from a 6% to a 4.7% rate, and not a single year of those have we seen reduced revenues or shortfalls. And so I think that speaks to how we have been overtaxing.
The proposal is expected to be on the November ballot.
St. Louis-based Spire is selling its Mississippi natural gas operation to New Orleans-based Delta Utilities for $75 million. That deal covers about 18,000 customers in south central Mississippi. Spire says it is shedding smaller assets to focus on its core markets in Missouri, Alabama, and Tennessee. It's the third significant sale the company has announced in the past month.
A St. Louis cannabis shop that was selling THC products disguised as children's candy is shutting down. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway announced Wednesday that Pressure STL, an unlicensed dispensary on South Broadway, has agreed to immediately cease operations and destroy all of its products after the AG filed suit against it in February. The shop was accused of selling marijuana and psychoactive hemp products packaged to look like well-known candy and snack brands. Hanaway says Missourians should avoid unlicensed dispensaries, which often sell untested, contaminated products.
A new popcorn shop and production facility is opening downtown, thanks in part to a pop-up retail program grant from the city and Greater St. Louis, Inc. Pop Pop Hooray Gourmet Popcorn will officially open this weekend in the Louderman Lofts on Locust and 11th. It's the company's third retail location, but with a production facility that will allow them to nearly triple its output. Pop Pop Hooray founder Tony Davis tells the Business Journal about 30% of their business is non-retail customers like businesses, schools, and events.
Today is Lost Dog Awareness Day. Jeanette Garlow is co-director of Lost Dogs of Illinois and says the simple things can make a difference.
For Lost Dogs Awareness Day, I did want to mention we have some key reminders for pet owners. Make sure your dog wears a collar with a visible ID tag. Microchip your pet and keep your contact information updated. Make sure to keep checking your fences, your gates, and your yards regularly for, like a lot of times the wind will damage your fences.
The Lost Dogs of America, an all-volunteer group, has helped 145,000 dogs return home in all 50 states over the last 15 years.
My dog has a tag, a chip, and an air tag. I don't want to risk losing her.
And a personality.
She sure does. It is 5:57.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Your 401k, 403b, and IRA, it's a future tax time bomb. I'll help you retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Let's avoid all those taxes on your IRA or 401k. Get your retirement questions answered. Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX FM 104.1. And then see your tax time bomb at checkwithgary.com.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Corey, from your comfort service? Why are you standing next to my AC?
I'm standing behind our work.
But it's 8 p.m. You're just going to stand behind my air conditioner?
Yeah, pretty much.
Could you turn off the sprinkler then?
Absolutely. At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, we take pride in our work. If you need a new air conditioner or HVAC system, you can trust we'll install the equipment correctly. Plus, for a limited time, qualify for rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Here's Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Crews are still dealing with the vehicle off the road eastbound Highway 70 at the 5th Street entrance ramp headed towards the Blanchette Bridge. We've got an additional stalled tractor trailer eastbound Highway 70 right at the start of the Blanchette Bridge as well. That one's over on the right shoulder, but the right lane is blocked. Eastbound 64 at Highway K, we're seeing delays as well, just due to a vehicle off the road, a camper shell. Frank Ladd, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin at the airport and a deal that could come as soon as today to prevent struggling Spirit Airlines from going out of business. Senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve says it would involve
as much as a $500 million loan that would stave off liquidation and keep the discount carriers' planes flying. In exchange, the government would take warrants in the airline worth up to 90% of the company once it emerges from bankruptcy.
Spirit's been struggling with rising fuel prices because of the Iran war. Tehran has released video of its forces seizing 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz after the U.S. put out similar footage earlier in the week. One Iranian leader calls it an eye for an eye, a tanker for a tanker. Meantime, the head of the U.S. Navy has been fired. CBS's Eleanor Watson.
He will now be replaced by his undersecretary, Hung Cao, who did serve in the Navy, was an explosive ordnance disposal service member in the Navy.
An overnight vote-a-rama in the Senate before Republicans pushed through a budget plan to end the 3-month-old partial government shutdown and fund agencies like ICE and Border Patrol. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says those Republicans proved what their priorities are.
Not for families struggling with the high costs of childcare, groceries, gasoline, electricity, but for pumping $140 billion towards rogue agencies.
We're learning a prediction market has suspended 3 congressional candidates who bet on their own elections.
It's the latest crackdown on insider trading by prediction platforms. Kalshi has banned Matthew Klein of Minnesota, Ezekiel Enriquez of Texas, and Mark Moran of Virginia for 5 years for betting on their own elections. Kalshi says Moran even bet he would run for public office months before he announced his campaign. Moran claims he placed his $100 bet hoping he would get caught to draw attention to the fact that Kalshi is contributing to the vice that he says is destroying the country. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A day after the referendum passed, a judge has blocked new voter-approved congressional maps in Virginia that could help Democrats regain control of the U.S. House of Representatives. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
Remember, this redistricting plan did not arise from the state legislature, which is indirectly a vote of the people because Virginians elect their state representatives. This outcome arose from the direct action of a referendum on redistricting voted on by the people.
Virginia's Attorney General says he'll appeal. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com.
At 6:03, we have a mostly clear sky, 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. There was a deadly daytime shooting near the Delmar Loop Metrolink station. St. Louis police are investigating after a man was killed in the 700 block of Hodemont around 3 p.m. Fox 2 reports, according to eyewitnesses, 2 men got into an argument while getting off of a Metro bus at the transit center. One of them reportedly shot the other in the head.
Missouri's Attorney General is claiming victory against a shop that was selling illegal THC products designed to look like kids' candy. An unlicensed dispensary called Pressure STL has agreed to shut down and destroy all of its products after a lawsuit was filed by Attorney General Catherine Hanaway earlier this year. Hanaway says the case should be a warning to other unlicensed dispensaries operating outside Missouri's legal cannabis framework.
New questions about the science and health of data centers as proposals work through approvals across the St. Louis Metro. The day after the city of St. Louis gave its thumbs up to the Armory District Data Center project, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley put the health question directly to HHS Secretary RFK Jr.
These are massive. This is going to consume, I think it's 700 megawatts of power. That's enough for 300,000 homes in 1 year.
Kennedy didn't dispute the concerns.
The risks to me are horrendous, and I've asked both ARPA and the Surgeon General's office to either do meta reviews or to do base studies on this issue so that we can better inform the American public.
We've been telling you about the Kansas City Royals getting innovative with their new downtown stadium plans.
The Royals' decision to build their new ballpark inside of the Crown Center district is kind of a homecoming for the franchise. The stadium will go directly onto the current site of the Hallmark corporate headquarters campus. Hallmark Executive Chairman Don Hall says the team's vision visual identity was actually born on that piece of real estate half a century ago.
When the Royals came to Kansas City, they adopted the crown that has become one of Major League's most enduring and unmistakably Kansas City icons. That crown was designed by a Hallmark artist. When the new Royal Stadium opens here at Crown Center, the crown will return to the very neighborhood that it was created.
Royals CEO John Sherman.
And Don, we're deeply honored to bring our crown back home to the very place where it was created, here at Hallmark. Destiny appears to have its eyes on us.
The stadium will be built into a natural drop so people outside will be able to see inside to the field. The Casey streetcar passes nearby, but what might be most unique is instead of wanting to create a ballpark village district from scratch, the Royals are hooking into the decades-established Crown Center district, which already has a department store, shops, attractions like Legoland, and restaurants. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It is now 6:06.
He says, one thing I know when the Royals play the Cardinals, a Missouri baseball team is going to win today.
St. Louis saw firsthand the impact of Ballpark Village on downtown after the opening of Busch Stadium 3. Now Kansas City wants to beat the gold standard for those kind of districts, the Atlanta Braves Battery Park. Governor Kehoe toured the Atlanta site and says the Royals' plan for a 365-day-a-year neighborhood goes even further.
Mr. Sherman said to me every time I talked to him, I want a Battery Park type experience. And I went and saw Battery Park in Atlanta. And this is going to exceed that. And it's all credit to you and your vision.
Kehoe says the Royals Stadium will attract tourists and have an economic ripple effect that stretches into rural Missouri.
How did the St. Louis area stack up this year in the American Lung Association's annual State of the Air report?
Nearly half of all children in the U.S. are breathing unhealthy levels of air pollution, according to the American Lung Association, including nearly 500,000 kids in Missouri. The St. Louis metropolitan area, including the Metro East, St. Charles, and Farmington, was named the 24th most polluted in the nation for ozone pollution and received a grade of F. The American Lung Association's Will Barrett says EPA rollbacks are partly to blame.
The Lung Association is really calling on everyone to call on EPA and tell them that our kids' health matters, that we need the EPA to move back to their mission of public health protection that they've ultimately started to withdraw from over the past year.
Bangor, Maine is the cleanest city for its air quality. Los Angeles ranks #1 for the worst. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, a new boutique hotel is expected to open soon in Lafayette Square. The Truett St. Louis on Waverly Place is the vision of a duo who've opened 3 historic Kansas City boutique hotels, 2 of which were named by Condé Nast Traveler as top luxury hotels. David Tron tells the Business Journal they love historic, walkable neighborhoods and feel St. Louis is an untapped market for small-scale boutique hotels. The property in question is currently listed as a 6-bedroom, single-family home.
It's 6:08, traffic and weather next.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-429-3200. That's 800-429-3200. 800-429-3200.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide, a robust new website, and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Aminet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10. Let's take a look at traffic and weather. We'll start here with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, cruiser on the scene of this incident, eastbound on Highway 70, right at the St. Charles side of the Blanchette Bridge, right at the end of the entrance ramp from 5th Street. We had the earlier vehicle off the road at 5th Street. I don't think this is part of that accident scene at all. I think this is a separate scene with the tractor trailer over on the right side. So right at the end of the entrance ramp from 5th Street on the Blanchette Bridge, eastbound Highway 70, it's a tractor trailer. Eastbound on Highway 64, still dealing with this accident where a pickup truck may have lost its camper shell right at Highway K. So you're kind of getting through the middle center lane there. The left shoulder is blocked, the right shoulder is blocked, a little bit of a slowdown approaching that scene. Still seeing slowdowns through Wright City, the road construction there eastbound on Highway 70 in that normal pocket. East of there, it opens up, make your way towards Wentzville. A few more headlights and taillights, make your way northbound on Highway 55, ramping onto Highway 270 northbound. Delay free so far into downtown, westbound 5564, crossing the Poplar. Our next traffic update at 6:20, Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
A warm day today. Sunshine mixing with clouds, becoming breezy this afternoon, high 84. It'll remain breezy this evening. It'll cloud up overnight with some rain and a thunderstorm late, though 64. Tomorrow we'll start with cloud and a shower, then some sun at times for the afternoon with a late day thunderstorm showing up, the high 75. A nice warm start to the weekend Saturday with some sunshine, the high 79. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have a mostly clear sky, 59 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is now 6:12, and the news continues. The St. Louis region is number one in a new category, the decline in births. The region has been in demographic winter for a while now, according to SLU demographer Ness Sandoval, meaning more people here are dying than being born. But the number of babies born continues to drop.
For many people, this is invisible, but we're seeing a significant decline when you have a significant decline of babies, you'll see a decline in children eventually entering into our school system, and that decline will eventually leak into our workforce.
Sandoval says it's happening across the country, but most evident here. Areas that have reversed the trend are places young people are moving to and starting families, and that's another problem. Our region ranks 58th for new housing starts. Most of the new residences being built here are apartments, and that's not what young, growing families are looking for.
The Jeff Vanderloo Neighborhood Association is worried about a potential project on a once contaminated site.
Despite the EPA reporting they have successfully cleaned the site in 2020, locals are concerned contaminants are remaining at the Carter Carburetor site, where the Boys and Girls Club wants to build a youth golf recreational area. However, there are no signs a groundbreaking is imminent. Carla Alexander with the Jeff Vanderloo Neighborhood Association was asked if they know whether the project is still happening.
They never gave us a solid date. It was last year when we reached out to them. They said possibly the construction can start in the fall of last year, but it didn't. So we're not sure.
Alexander says if the project moves forward, the ground should be retested first. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
In a statement to KMOX, Brandon Williams, the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs, says they will share additional plans for the site in the future and have adhered to all required regulatory processes. St. Louis-based Spire is selling its Mississippi natural gas operation to New Orleans-based Delta Utilities for $75 million. That deal covers about 18,000 customers in South Central Mississippi. Spire says it's shedding smaller assets to focus on its core markets in Missouri, Alabama, and Tennessee. It's the third significant sale the company has announced in the past month.
Anheuser-Busch is tapping into a $600 million bet on American workers. The St. Louis Brewer says it plans to retrain and upskill more than 90% of its manufacturing workforce over the next 5 years. The move is part of a broader investment in U.S. operations that includes 15 new technical training centers and expanding opportunities for veterans. The company has been building toward this since opening its first Technical Excellence Center in St. Louis back in 2022. The Redbird Report is sponsored by Restoration One of Greater St. Louis. Let's start with the Memphis Redbirds.
Just a great communicator, a player's manager. High towering fly ball off the bat of Velasquez. That one heading for the picnic area and gone. A moonbeam two-run home run by Nelson Velasquez. Second home run surrendered by Ryan Long. And the Redbirds are up again.
That one went 378 feet off the bat of Nelson Velasquez in a 9-7 win for Memphis over Norfolk. 435-foot home run for Joshua Baez and a 387-foot tank job out to right for Jimmy Crooks. So the Cardinals' power surge down at the AAA level was in effect. As for their major league team, they sat Mason Wynn, they sat Alec Burleson, they sat Jordan Walker, and they sagged on offense. The Cardinals lost the game yesterday to the Marlins. The final of a 3-game series went Miami's way 4-1. The Cardinals didn't have a run until the 9th inning when Ivan Herrera went deep. Other than that, they had some decent relief pitching. Kyle Leahy went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs on 8 hits, walked 3 and struck out 2. Gordon Graceffo, Matt Swanson, Ryan Fernandez pitched scoreless frames after that, but the Cardinals did not have the offensive support, and they lost the ballgame 4-1. They have the day off today. They host the Seattle Mariners this weekend at Busch Stadium. The game on Friday night starts at 7:15 here on KMOX. As for the standings, the Cardinals are still in good shape in a crowded NL Central. The Reds lead the way by a half game over the Cubs, who have won 8 in a row. The Reds are 16-9. The Cubs are 15-9. The Cardinals and Pirates check in at 14-10. And the Brewers, the last place team in the division, are 13-10. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, it was a win for the Philadelphia Flyers again. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-2 to take a 3-0 series lead. Wyatt Johnston scored in double overtime to help Dallas beat Minnesota 4-3 and take a 2-1 series lead in that best-of-7 series. Anaheim evened things up with Edmonton, winning on the road 6-4. That's a 1-1 series between the Ducks and the Oilers. In the NBA, Detroit beat Orlando 98-83 to even that series at a game apiece. And the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, beat Phoenix 120-107. They go up 2-0 in that series. The NFL draft is tonight in Pittsburgh. Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, expected to go number 1 to the Raiders. And Jeremiah Love, the St. Louisan from CBC and Notre Dame, that running back could go as high as 3 to Arizona. He is in a lot of mock drafts and projections, going 3, maybe 4 to the Tennessee Titans. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Since we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see and hear lots of lawyer ads. It seems that most are bragging on what they got their clients. But be careful. If you heard that someone sold their car for $500,000, you would be impressed. But if you later learned that it was a rare $10 million Ferrari, would you say that person got screwed? And that's before you even know if it's true. Who is fact-checking? And how much went to medical bills and lawyers' fees? If you want to get an idea what your case may be really worth, visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts. You will see what a law firm like ours is capable of. And fact-check for yourself. All that glitters is not gold. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won big, a lot. At Morgan & Morgan, we represent consumers. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Sunday, April 26th is packed with fun. When the Cardinals welcome the Seattle Mariners, you can score a classic chain-stitch Cardinals hat presented by Coca-Cola. Plus, kids 12 and under receive a Fredbird Hall of Fame ring presented by the Pasta House Company. And get the chance to run the bases after the game. Giveaways, post-game fun, and Cardinals baseball all in one big Sunday showdown. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Matthew Libertor. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fredbird and games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/KidsSunday.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:20. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey, along with Tom Ackerman and Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've got tow vehicles on the scenes of both of our accidents this morning, Debbie. Eastbound Highway 70, just before the Blanchette Bridge, right at the end of the entrance ramp from 5th Street onto eastbound Highway 70. There's a vehicle off into that ditch there. So tow vehicle on the scene of that one. Eastbound on Highway 64, tow vehicle there as well. Right at Highway K, it's over on the left shoulder picking up the one vehicle. Still emergency vehicles and part of the accident over on the right shoulder eastbound on Highway 64. So you've got a little bit of a slowdown there approaching Highway K on eastbound 64. It's thinned out eastbound on Highway 70. The road construction out of the way at Wright City. A few more headlights and taillights headed into the work zone. Northbound on Highway 55 headed towards the River to Pear up through about Loughborough and then towards downtown St. Louis. It starts to open up. This update is brought to you by the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Our next traffic update at 6:30. Frank Ladd at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. He has one more good one for us, and that's today. Sunshine mixing with clouds, breezy and very warm this afternoon, a high of 84. Tonight, breezy, otherwise cloudy and warm, periods of rain and a thunderstorm late, low 64. Tomorrow, some sun at times after an early shower, and then a thunderstorm in spots late tomorrow, a high of 75. Saturday's nice, warm with more sun than clouds, high 79. And for Sunday, considerable cloudiness with a shower or two in the afternoon at a high of 78. It's 59 right now.
It is 6:22. The Centennial Christian Church in Fountain Park was finally torn down 11 months after the tornado. Its spire collapsed and trapped a number of individuals inside, killing one on that day. KMOX's Sean Malone caught up with Pastor Reverend Dr. Deetra Wise Baker.
So what does the demolition of the church mean for you guys and your congregation?
It's a mixture. It's a time of grief. Obviously, this is a historic Black Christian Church Disciples of Christ church in the city of St. Louis, the only Black Disciples of Christ church in the city of St. Louis. So, difficult for the community, for the church community, to see the building come down with generations of leaders and community leadership coming from that congregation. But it also gives the congregation an opportunity to reimagine, to rethink, to resurrect a new ministry for this time and this season. We're still committed to being in Fountain Park, and so there's an opportunity to do something new, and we think God's going to do something new.
That was going to be one of my follow-up questions is the plan for this site. Are you planning on rebuilding a new church here at this site, or will the church permanently be moving somewhere else?
The plan is for the church. The church has committed and voted to stay in Fountain Park. Obviously, we have to go through the details of a construction plan and all that stuff. And I think you all know that sometimes though there's barriers that you're not aware of until you get into that process. We're very early in that process, but the church has historic ministries in health, in hunger, and housing. We have 3 affordable housing units that we sponsored into being that are already in the city of St. Louis. The church's intention is to rebuild a church center. It wouldn't be just a place for worship, but also for community work, co-working space, to continue our hunger and feeding ministries. And we have great hopes that we'll be able to do a clinic, continuing our health ministry screenings and in partnership with folks that we have in the community, WashU, SLU, and others that have partnered with us over the years to do health work in the community. So we're hoping that hunger, housing, and health continue in that final vision.
And that would be at this site?
And it would be at that site. That is the plan. But like I said, we have to go through the process.
We talked about how hard this is for the community, this historic church coming down. But is there any sense of healing with this church coming down, that you don't have to see it in its damaged state anymore, and
absolutely,
visually it's a sign of moving forward past the tragedy of the May 16th tornado?
Absolutely. We were delayed in getting the building down because we were trying to get some of our historic windows and relics in the building out. And with all the damage to churches in the community, there was some delay with being able to do that. But we were able to get that. But we were like, we have to have it down before the anniversary, so that we can heal more deeply, and so that the community can heal more deeply without that visual. So that's absolutely right, and we are in total agreement that we know that our church is an anchor in the community, and so not seeing that will help not just us but our neighbors begin to for us to all face forward together for what's next.
Were you able to get some of those relics back?
Yeah, we were able to get some of the windows and some important pieces inside the church. And so the church has secured sort of those historical pieces that it wants to hold on to for the future, and is looking forward to the next phase of designing and listening to the community and hearing more deeply how our broad vision can come into implementation in Fountain Park.
That is Sean Malone speaking with Reverend Dr. Deetra Wise Baker of Centennial Christian Church. It's 6:27, and the Time Check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., and I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
It's partly and mostly sunny and clear sky. It's 59 degrees downtown at the Arch at 6:30. I'm Tom Ackerman.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and this is Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, I just saw the flatbed trailer move out of the way, the tow truck out of the way, eastbound on Highway 70 near the 5th Street entrance ramp. So that's good news. They've gotten that vehicle out of the ditch. Crews are still on the scene of this accident eastbound on Highway 64, right just past Highway K, the overpass at Highway K. Just the two lanes getting by. The left lane that's currently blocked. Tow vehicle over on the left shoulder. Also, the right shoulder is blocked. So you're backed up to almost Winghaven now, eastbound on Highway 64, coming in from St. Charles County. Northbound on Highway 55, you're going to hit the brakes approaching the work zone at the River de Pere. North of there, a pretty good run towards downtown St. Louis. Little extra volume now starting to form northbound on Route 3. Could have a train crossing at Monsanto. So you're backed up northbound on Route 3 at Judith, headed towards the Poplar Street Bridge. Our next traffic update at 6:40. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunrise was at 6:12. It's going to be a great day. We're looking at mixed sun and clouds, breezy and warm. High 84 today. Tonight, breezy, otherwise mostly cloudy. And we could get a little rain and a thunderstorm late, low 64. Tomorrow, clouds and a shower early, then sun at times in the afternoon, thunderstorm in spots late, and a high of 75 degrees. It's sunny and 59 downtown at the Arch.
A deadly daytime shooting near the Delmar Loop Metrolink station. A report of a shooting around 3 p.m. in the 700 block of Hodemont. St. Louis police say they're investigating after a man was killed. Eyewitnesses say two men got into an argument getting off a Metro bus at the transit center, and then one reportedly shot the other in the head.
It's been a day since St. Louis approved the Armory Data Center, and now Josh Hawley is asking questions about it.
Missouri senior senator was on Capitol Hill asking whether anybody actually knows if these facilities are safe to live near. Josh Hawley told HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. that Missourians want answers.
I get asked constantly about the health risks around these data centers. And I honestly don't know what to tell them because I don't know what the science is.
Kennedy responded that he's already pushing federal agencies to find out. The Armory project is one of nearly a dozen data center proposals working through approval processes across the St. Louis Metro. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
We are digging into the new Kansas City Royals Stadium and what St. Louis can learn from how the plan was put together. The stadium would displace one of Missouri's most famous corporate campuses. Hallmark has anchored the Crown Center district since 1956.
But Hallmark executive chairman Don Hall says the company is agreeing to vacate its historic offices to make way for home plate.
Our headquarters will be moving to make room for the new stadium. Our buildings have been home to generations of Hallmarkers and some of our most memorable corporate moments since we located there in 1956. While these buildings have served us very well, we are very excited about moving to a newer building that will be even better suited for our work today and into the future.
Hallmark, much like St. Louis's Enterprise Mobility, is a corporate giant that is still privately owned by its founding family. And as Hall said right there, Hallmark isn't leaving the neighborhood. The company plans to build a new headquarters within the new baseball district.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:34.
Do you ever feel like people are mumbling more than they used to? Or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow? If this sounds familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy one room of carpet, get one cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
It's 6:35, and your Money Minute is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. American Airlines and Alaska Air are said to be pursuing potential revenue-sharing agreements and other strategic partnerships. The talks come as airlines are trying to manage higher fuel costs and intense competition. Sources tell us a full merger was also discussed, but those plans did not get off the ground. But this partnership could give American greater reach on the West Coast while giving Alaska access to lucrative long-haul flights. No comment from either airline. Turning to the market, stocks are under pressure with all eyes on the Middle East. The U.S. and Iran remain locked in battle for control of the Strait of Hormuz. S&P futures are down 35 points, Dow futures dropping 280. However, shares of Texas Instruments soaring in early trading. The chipmaker gave a surprisingly strong forecast, helped by booming spending on data centers for artificial intelligence. Texas Instruments also says it is seeing a rebound in industrial demand, but there's still plenty of room for growth. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
McKelvey Homes, right here in St. Louis, and has been for a long, long time. McKelvey Homes since 1898, Missouri's oldest home builder and the best. If you're in the market for a new home, let me tell you, Cottleville, O'Fallon, Wildwood, Afton. I mean, they're all over the St. Louis area. Cottleville Trails is one of the best. I've known President Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes for years, and when he tells me that he's enjoying his time walking around downtown Cottleville, you can golf cart or walk from Cottleville Trails to, let's say, Menino's Market, grab a little lunch or dinner there. Jim says it's his new favorite sandwich shop. I believe him. 5 lakes, a pool, playground, Francis House schools. They've got it all at Cottleville Trails. It's just one of many home sites from McKelvey Homes, a neighborhood where you actually know your neighbors. Cottleville Trails. McKelvey Homes. McKelveyHomes.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at Amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
With Straight Windows. Let me guess, you've gotten some quotes on some new windows, and you had to look at it twice. I hear that a lot. That's why I started Straight Windows. I'm not here to give you a sales pitch. What I'm here to give you is a straightforward answer on what you need, what you don't need, and what it should cost. You're going to get quality windows, lifetime warranty, and no pressure. If you want a quote that you could feel good about, give me a call at 314-WINDOWS. That's 314-WINDOWS.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is 6:39. Traffic and weather coming your way in just a few seconds here. Israeli and Lebanese officials are staring at a lengthy agenda as they meet face-to-face with Secretary of State Marco Rubio for direct talks in Washington. Lebanese officials said they plan to try to get the ceasefire with Israel extended for 1 month, with the ceasefire right now scheduled to expire on Sunday. The Lebanese president accusing Israel of war crimes, attacking southern Lebanon during the truce, including an airstrike that killed a female Lebanese journalist. Let's get you caught up on your ride in this morning. It looks like a beautiful morning with plenty of sunshine. Roger Brand has some time off, and it's Frank Ladd who joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Good morning, Debbie. They cleared the accident completely out of the way now, eastbound on Highway 64 at Highway K. Still seeing some residual backups towards Winghaven. Wide open as well, eastbound on Highway 70 at the Blanchette Bridge. That earlier vehicle that had been off the road at 5th Street is out of the way, towed away, and all lanes back open there. That tractor trailer that had been on the St. Charles side of the Blanchette Bridge as well is gone. Headed northbound on Highway 270, a few more headlights and taillights approaching Highway 44, Manchester Road on northbound Highway 270. Northbound 55, you've got a pocket of volume approaching the river to Pear. That road construction zone is what's causing you a slow stretch there. North of the construction zone near Loughborough, you're back up to speed, headed towards downtown St. Louis. A few more headlights and taillights into downtown, westbound 5564, crossing the Poplar, not quite stop and go. And we had a train crossing Route 3 at Monsanto, so that's what could be causing you delays on northbound Route 3 approaching the Poplar Street Bridge. Our next traffic update at 6:50, Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Staples.
Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples, that was easy.
Going on 642, coming up, we've got a story about how tornadoes, the number of them in this area, have gone up for the 4th year in a row. Details on that on the way. But let's check the weather for today and the next few days with AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg.
Good morning, Debbie. I think that's not a consideration over the next 4 days in our forecast. That may be different as we head into Monday with the storm system coming out of the Rockies and headed for the Great Lakes. There's a threat for severe weather. That's on Monday. Today, that's going to be another warm day with sunshine and some clouds. Breeze picks up, we'll get to 84. That breeze will hold up through the evening hours. It'll become mostly cloudy and remain warm overnight, but there'll be some rain and even a thunderstorm late tonight. Again, it does not look like this will be severe. The low 64. Tomorrow, cloud and a shower followed by some sun. Maybe a late day thunderstorm pops up, the high 75. Beautiful start to the weekend. Saturday's going to be great with sunshine and some clouds, high 79. Clouds will be moving in for Sunday, and with them maybe a shower or two in the afternoon. We still get to the upper 70s. The threat for severe thunderstorms looms on the horizon for Monday. Monday's high 83. Right now, 61 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. Sunshine, 63 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is now 6:43. Illinois surpassing 100 tornadoes for the 4th year in a row.
As of April 22nd, the preliminary count for tornadoes across the state of Illinois stands at 101 and counting, nearly double the annual average of 54. Last Friday, an EF2 twister with 130-mile-per-hour winds struck the northwest Illinois town of Leno, where Rich Tessendorf lives.
This community helps everybody, no matter where they're from. Just overwhelming the support.
Illinois also leads the nation in hail reports, and heavy rain has led to flooding. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
A wrongful death lawsuit has been filed in the Central Illinois crash that killed 5 children at an after-school program.
Children who had their whole lives ahead of them, full of dreams, full of love, full of experiences. That all ended on April 28th, 2025.
Filed in Sangamon County, the suit targets both driver Marianne Akers and the Why Not Outdoor Camp in Chatham, Illinois. Lance Northcutt, partner with Salvi, Shostak, and Pritchard, argues the building sat too close to a highway and lacked the bollards and barriers needed to keep a vehicle from plowing through.
This building, where it was built, how it was built, was uniquely vulnerable to a tragedy like this or something like this happening.
Now, Marianne Akers was never charged. Her attorney says a seizure left her completely incapacitated. Toxicology reports show no drugs or alcohol were present. 4 children died that day on April of 2025. An 8th victim, 8-year-old Bradley Lund, died weeks later.
And this was a building that was constructed in a manner that never could have withstood the impact of a vehicle.
Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
A proposed amendment to Illinois' Constitution could change the drawing of maps that determine who you get to vote for.
I ask for an aye vote for the people.
Speaker and Chicago Democrat Emanuel Chris Welch got aye votes from 3/5 of the House, sending to the Senate his proposal to spell out a requirement that legislative maps be drawn with consideration for the voices of racial minorities. Chicago Democrat Teresa Ma told colleagues it's important for the state to act in the event that the U.S. Supreme Court overturns the Voting Rights Act, which is the basis for the state's maps.
Will my colleagues on both sides of the aisle be able to say that here in Illinois, we are not going to throw our democracy into the wood chipper?
But Peoria area Republican Ryan Spain says the amendment will disenfranchise people in Illinois and allow Democrats to strengthen their majority.
We cannot use diversity as a sword and a shield only when necessary to protect political power.
Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
Hey, let's play a little Who's Hot, Who's Not. It's sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. Let's start with Who's Not. That would be Victor Scott II. Vic is 0 for his last 16. Last hit he had was on April 14th in the 6th inning against the Cleveland Guardians at Busch Stadium. Since then, he's gone 0 for 2 road trips. Houston and Miami. So we got to get Vic going here offensively. He's hitting only 197. The Cardinals center fielder has dropped below the Mendoza line. Ivan Herrera is hot. He is on a 6-game hitting streak, and here's how that sounds.
Nice recovery for Ryan Fernandez to leave the bases loaded. And here's a swing and a long drive to left field, way back to the wall, and Lake Bacher gives up a home run on the first swing of the 9th inning, and it's a 3-run game in favor of Miami. Welcome to the game, Lake Bacher. The 3rd home run of the season for Ivan Herrera.
That was it for the Cardinals offense, though. They lost to the Marlins 4-1 and dropped 2 out of 3 in the series. They'll be back at it tomorrow night at Busch Stadium against the Seattle Mariners. The Cardinals are currently a game and a half out of first place in a very crowded National League Central. You know who else is hot? The Memphis Redbirds' Jimmy Crooks. Their catcher has 8 home runs. He hit another one yesterday as Memphis beat Norfolk 9-7. Joshua Baez hit a 435-foot homer yesterday for Memphis, and Nelson Velasquez homered as well. So the Cardinals do have some power reinforcements there if they want to go get them at some point. The NFL draft is tonight in Pittsburgh. Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, is expected to go number 1 overall to the Raiders. The Cardinals pick 3rd. Arizona could take Jeremiah Love right there, the St. Louisan from CBC, and Notre Dame, the running back, could also go 4th overall to Tennessee. We shall see. I'm Tom Ackerman. A quick look at the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Dallas Stars with a double overtime win last night at Minnesota. That puts them up 2-0 in the series. It was Wyatt Johnston with the game winner, 4-3. Dallas gets that win. Philadelphia goes up 3-0 on Pittsburgh with a 5-2 win, and Anaheim beat Edmonton 6-4 on the road. That series is even at a game apiece. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories, great company, great people. 9 locations in the St. Louis area, 9 of them loaded up with mulch and with soil and with compost. And if you have a truck or trailer and you want to load up, go right ahead. 9 locations in the St. Louis area. But if you don't have either, like me, just go to stlcompost.com, stlcompost.com, and they will deliver the mulch to you. In fact, we went online to that site and shopped around for mulch. They have like a dozen different kinds of mulch. We did the color-enhanced dark walnut mulch. Man, does it look good around flower beds and trees. It makes our landscaping look so much better. Everything pops, and it's good for the yard as well, with top soil, with top dressing, with soil, with all that organic matter in it, or composting for your garden. It's St. Louis Composting. It's so easy to do. Just go to stlcompost.com. They have the cubic yards calculator there as well, so you don't have to do any work. They'll just tell you how much you need. STLcompost.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem?
I was just checking out. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:50 and time for traffic and weather. It's a nice sunny morning out, a little breezy. Looks beautiful. Take a look at the forecast after we check in with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Debbie. Headed northbound on Highway 270. We've got a pocket of stop-and-go volume at Tesson Ferry. Back on the brakes again near, looks like Gravois. North of there, reports of an accident south of Big Bend on northbound on Highway 270, but certainly not a major slowdown there. Just off the pace now between Big Bend and Manchester Road into downtown St. Louis. Westbound 5564, you've got some volume crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. Northbound on Highway 55, you've got your normal volume as well, approaching the work zone near the river to Perrin. North and southbound 170 look good so far this morning. Northbound towards 270, southbound towards 64. Delay-free crossing the Chain of Rocks Bridge so far this morning. And back to normal eastbound on Highway 70, coming through St. Charles County. From Lake St. Louis to River to Pear, from Lake St. Louis headed up towards Highway 370, headed towards the Blanchette Bridge. We have a pocket of volume, though, eastbound on Highway 64. That's near Winghaven. Reports of an accident just past Winghaven, eastbound on Highway 64. Our next traffic update at 6:58. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
As you can see over my left shoulder on our YouTube feed, sunshine today, mixing with clouds, breezy, very warm this afternoon, high 84. Tonight, chance of a thunderstorm late, otherwise mostly cloudy, low 64. Shower early tomorrow, thunderstorm late, sun at times, high 75 degrees. It's 59 right now.
The news continues at 6:52. A new text scam to report. St. Louis residents have reported receiving a text message with a photo claiming to be from the traffic division of the Circuit Court of St. Louis County. The scam message claims people have tickets that need to be paid. Urge them to pay now. St. Louis County Police say no one from a court will ever contact you by phone or text asking for payment, and they're urging any victims who have sent money to contact a local law enforcement agency.
The Missouri Senate has passed a bill that shifts the focus to the youngest victims of drunk driving. It would require drivers convicted of killing a parent or guardian while drunk to provide financial support for the surviving children. Republican State Senator Mike Henderson says his bill is known as Bentley and Mason's Law. after a tragedy struck a family in his area of St. Francis County.
The mother and the father were killed. The 4-month-old was killed. And there were 2 boys, Bentley and Mason, that were left. They have a grandmother who's great and takes care of them. Some of them end up in foster care. Some of them end up in bad situations. It's a small step we can make to try to help make the lives of these children a little more whole.
The measure would allow courts to order support payments until a child turns 18 or in some cases 21, and it now advances to the Missouri House.
Missouri voters will get to decide whether to eliminate the state income tax and replace that money by expanding sales taxes to goods and now to services. The state legislature has passed the proposed change to the Missouri Constitution. This is a priority for Governor Kehoe. State Representative Bishop Davidson of Republic is a sponsor of the proposal.
We have been reducing income taxes over the last decade, began those triggers, I believe it was 2016. We've reduced from a 6% to a 4.7% rate, and not a single year of those have we seen reduced revenues or shortfalls. And so I think that speaks to how we have been overtaxing.
The proposal will be on the November ballot.
Today is Lost Dog Awareness Day. Jeanette Garlow is co-director of Lost Dogs of Illinois and says the simple things can make a difference if your dog gets away.
If your dog does go missing, use calm, strategic recovery methods rather than chasing, because, dogs do run if you chase them. So those are just some important things that we like to bring up for Lost Dogs Awareness Day.
The Lost Dogs of America, an all-volunteer group, has helped 145,000 dogs return home in all 50 states over the last 15 years.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
The birthday shout-out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Not too many birthdays today, so I will take this opportunity to tell you that if you have a birthday or an anniversary you'd like announced during this segment, you just need to email it to totalam@kmox.com. totalam@kmox.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Teresa Martinez and also James Blessing from your family.
This is the best birthday ever.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin, WashU Medicine medical oncologist at Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. Jin, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything that one can do to prevent esophageal cancer?
Sure, that's a topic that's near and dear close to my heart. What's interesting for me is that the esophageal cancers we see here in the West in the United States are kind of what we call distal, so they're kind of further down, and they start from the inside and grow out. They all kind of originate from a precursor state called Barrett's esophagus. It's basically caused by years of chronic reflux. So if, a GI person does an endoscopy, sticks a camera down there, we can actually see these Barrett's lesions.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Come celebrate our Customer Appreciation Days, April 24th and 25th, and save up to 10 to 20% on trees, shrubs, annuals, tropicals, perennials, houseplants, and more. KMOX will be live on Saturday. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com for more details.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX and my official sportsbook as well. And I just want to brag for a second and say that I have been with FanDuel longer than the state of Missouri. I've been playing when I've been out of town for a long, long time, a lot of years. It's a blast, and it's because they're always bringing something, right? Whether it was March Madness a while ago or the beginning of baseball season, there's always something going on. And right now, FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. So we'll be talking about special drops that you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and a whole lot more than that. And the best part, it's every single day. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for prime time, just make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's there waiting for you on every given day. Head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get yourself started. And FanDuel, of course, is an official partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, whatever was there, eastbound Highway 64 at Winghaven has cleared rather quickly. So eastbound 64, it's a good run through St. Charles County now between 364, Highway 94, and the Boone Bridge into St. Louis County. Similar story eastbound on Highway 70 from Lake St. Louis, passing Highway 79, 370, the Blanchette Bridge, all wide open through this stretch this morning. Northbound on Highway 55, you've got your normal volume north of Bayless, making your way up through the work zone near the river to Pear. North of there, a pretty good run north of Loughborough, heading into downtown St. Louis. Not bad into downtown. Westbound 70 and westbound Highway 55-64 crossing the Mississippi River. Our next traffic update at 7:10. Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is Thursday, the 23rd of April. I'm Debbie Monterey.
I get asked constantly about the health risks around these data centers.
Josh Hawley with questions a day after the Armory Data Center was approved. I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine mixing with clouds today, breezy and very warm this afternoon, high 84.
The Cardinals lost yesterday to the Marlins. They have the day off today. They'll be getting after it tomorrow against Seattle. Tonight is the NFL Draft. It's also the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NBA playoffs. It's all happening all at the same time. Sports in 15 minutes at 7.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A save could come today for a budget airline. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
The Trump administration is in advanced discussions with Spirit Airlines over a bailout worth up to $500 million, staving off the twice bankrupt carrier's liquidation and keeping its planes flying, according to sources familiar with the negotiations.
A potential government deal is being panned by lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren.
I think bailouts are a bad idea. We need to stop the business of consolidation. People then rake all the profits off the top, leave a shell of a company behind.
A contributing factor in Spirit's financial decline, the war in Iran, which has jacked up jet fuel prices. The Pentagon says it seized another tanker today trying to smuggle Iranian oil, this one in the Indian Ocean. It comes a day after Iran took control of 2 ships, and now it says it has proof. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata from Tel Aviv.
A highly produced video released by Iran's Revolutionary Guards, complete with soundtrack and drone footage, purportedly shows commandos seizing 2 container ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
Talks between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled. Negotiations between Israel and Lebanon are scheduled for today in Washington. David is due in court, a day after officials released gruesome details about how 14-year-old Celeste Rivas died. The singer has pleaded not guilty to her murder. CBS News LA's Hunter Sowards.
The medical examiner says she died of sharp force trauma, but the autopsy made difficult because her body was severely decomposed. Officials say she died in April of 2025 and wasn't found until September.
Her remains were discovered in the singer's Tesla. Workers are suing an AI training startup for exposing their personal data.
Mercor uses AI to interview job seekers, review their resumes, and match them with roles.
Apply once and instantly receive offers that match your qualifications.
Mercor's client list includes Meta, OpenAI, and Anthropic. A third, Mercor's collection of applicants' personal information, recorded job interviews, and even screenshots of their computers. In at least 7 class action lawsuits, workers claim Mercor illegally shared its applicant vetting data with its partners. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Drought-fueled fires have burned through homes and neighborhoods in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida. Sheriff Len Davis.
These winds may shift rapidly, which will create unpredictable fire behavior. So just stay alert. And for the public, be prepared to evacuate immediately.
Dow futures down 245. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
It is 7:04. We've got tons of sunshine right now downtown. It's 60 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. A deadly daytime shooting near the Metrolink station in the Delmar Loop. St. Louis police say they've investigated after a man was killed in the 700 block of Hodemont yesterday at about 3 p.m. Fox 2 reporting that eyewitnesses say two men got into an argument while getting off of a Metro bus at the transit center there, and one of them reportedly shot the other in the head.
Also in the news this morning, new questions about the science and health of data centers as proposals work through approvals across the St. Louis Metro. The day after the city of St. Louis gave a thumbs up to the Armory District Data Center project, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley put the question of health directly to HHS Secretary RFK Jr.
These are massive. This is going to consume, I think it's 700 megawatts of power. That's enough for 300,000 homes in 1 year.
Kennedy didn't dispute the concerns.
The risks to me are horrendous, and I've asked both ARPA and the Surgeon General's office to either do meta reviews or to do base studies on this issue so that we can better inform the American public.
Also this morning, St. Louisans who have seen the Royals and Chiefs stadiums along I-70 on road trips could be interested in the Royals' plans for a replacement. Instead of creating a ballpark village-type district from scratch like the Cardinals tried to do, the Royals are instead hooking into an existing one, Crown Center, which includes a mall, Legoland, headquarters of Hallmark Cards.
Hallmark Executive Chairman Don Hall notes the stadium will be built into a natural 90-foot drop by the center's plaza, keeping it very low to the street.
You see that you get a chance to see the green grass if you're standing on the square. You know, what's more inviting than seeing the green in December and looking forward to the baseball season starting? So this will feel like it's really part of the community.
Royals owner John Sherman says the open layout is meant to drive retail and pedestrian traffic 365 days a year, not just on game days.
George Brett can tell you how to beat the Cardinals. So.
Ribbing aside, the new downtown Royals Stadium is being pitched as an economic win for the entire state, not just Kansas City. I'm Michael Calhoun. With 20,000 construction jobs on the line, Missouri Governor Mike Keogh says a revitalized western border draws regional tourism dollars that benefit the state as a whole.
Their presence downtown will drive meaningful economic activity from job creation and tourism to supporting small businesses, which benefits not just the Kansas City region, but it has communities across the state. The ripple effect from this facility will truly be far-reaching into rural Missouri and other parts of the state.
We've also heard the governor talk about the importance of boosting downtown St. Louis as a way to boost the entire state's fortunes as well. And with the World Cup coming to Arrowhead and Kansas City, he's banking on an influx of new global spending in the KC area.
The St. Louis area did not fare too well in this year's annual State of the Air report just released by the American Lung Association.
The St. Louis metropolitan area was named the 24th worst in the nation for ozone pollution and got a grade of F in the new report. Nationally, nearly half of all children in the U.S. are breathing unhealthy levels of air pollution, including nearly 500,000 kids in Missouri. The American Lung Association's Will Barrett.
Over the past year, the U.S. EPA has made significant rollbacks to critical clean air programs. They're also undertaking an effort to stop counting the health costs of air pollution. The Lung Association is really calling on everyone to call on EPA and tell them that our kids' health matters.
Bangor, Maine has the cleanest air quality, Los Angeles the worst. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, a new popcorn shop and production facility opening in downtown St. Louis, thanks in part to a pop-up retail program grant from the city and Greater St. Louis, Inc. Pop Pop Hooray Gourmet Popcorn will officially open this weekend in the Louderman Lofts on Locust and 11th. It's the company's third retail location, but this one has a production facility that will allow them to nearly triple output. Pop-Pop Parade founder Tony Davis tells the Business Journal about 30% of their business is non-retail customers like businesses, schools, and events.
It's 7:08, traffic and weather next.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Right now, inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake up the markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs, so this is not the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve Auld and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, May 6th and May 7th. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines may impact your returns, and whether your retirement strategy is truly stress-tested for today's economy. This event is complimentary, and you must reserve your seat today. 636-230-8824. You can also get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 7:10. Time for us to get you another check of the roadways and the weather. Here is Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A nice run for Metro East drivers into downtown St. Louis, westbound 5564 crossing the Poplar, westbound on Highway 70 crossing the Mutual Veterans Bridge. That's good news there. You've got your normal pocket of volume into the work zone starting at, looks like north of Bayless now, north of Highway 55, headed up through the river to Pear and Loughborough, northbound on Highway 270, a few more headlights and taillights north of 55, up through about Gravois, back on the brakes again. Looks like Doherty Ferry up through about Manchester Road so far this morning. None of those stretches are stop and go, though. No stop and go pockets, no real major slowdowns as well. Coming in from St. Charles County to St. Louis County, that's eastbound Highway 70 from Lake St. Louis, eastbound Highway 64 from Wentzville, making your way towards the Blanchette and the Boone Bridges, respectively. Our next traffic update at 7:20. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Let's check in with AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixing with clouds today. Breezy and very warm this afternoon with a high of 84. Breezy this evening, mostly cloudy and warm overnight with some rain and a thunderstorm late, though 64. For tomorrow, clouds and a shower early, then some sun at times in the afternoon with a late day thunderstorm in spots, the high 75. A nice day Saturday with more sun than clouds, high 79. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, now we have a sunny sky, 59 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Did you get a text message from the traffic division of the Circuit Court of St. Louis County? A number of residents have reported receiving it. The scam claims people have tickets that need to be paid and urge them to pay now. St. Louis County Police say no one from a court will ever contact you by phone or text asking for payment. And they're urging anybody who has sent money to these scammers to contact local law enforcement.
The Jeff Vanderloo Neighborhood Association is asking the Boys and Girls Club to retest the soil at the Carter Carburetor site where they plan to build a youth recreation area. Asked about the EPA cleaning the site back in 2020, Carla Alexander says she wants to see it retested just in case.
They're going to have to test the soil, the water, the air, and it has to be a thorough evaluation along with an emergency plan. What if the cap starts leaking? You know, there's a lot of things going on that aren't in place and they're not being transparent with the community.
In a statement to KMOX, Brandon Williams, CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, says they have adhered to all required regulatory processes and will share additional plans for the site in the future.
A church damaged badly by last year's tornado is finally being taken down.
The Centennial Christian Church in Fountain Park is coming down a little over 11 months after an EF3 tornado ripped across St. Louis City, doing significant damage to this church, knocking part of it down. Its spire was in the street, and it trapped multiple people in its basements. One of them died from the partial collapse of this church. I spoke to Deetra Wise Baker, the pastor of the Centennial Christian Church in Fountain Park, and she says although there is a lot of feeling of grief seeing this historic church coming down, there is some hope not seeing it in its broken state any longer.
Not seeing that will help not just us, but our neighbors begin to for us to all face forward together for what's next.
In Fountain Park, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A St. Louis cannabis shop that was selling THC products disguised as children's candy is shutting down. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway announced that an unlicensed dispensary on South Broadway, Pressure STL, has agreed to immediately cease operations and destroy all of its products after the AG filed suit against it in February. The shop was accused of selling marijuana and psychoactive hemp products packaged to look like well-known candy and snack brands. Hanaway says Missourians should avoid unlicensed dispensaries, which often sell untested, contaminated products.
Anheuser-Busch is pouring $600 million into its U.S. manufacturing operations over the next year. The St. Louis-based brewery announcing it's expanding its brewing facilities, opening 15 new technical skills training centers across the country, and stepping up hiring of veterans. The company says 99% of its beer sold in the U.S. is made in the U.S. The investment builds on a technical training center that opened at the St. Louis headquarters in 2022.
Cut of the game sponsored by the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop.net.
Nice recovery for Ryan Fernandez to leave the bases loaded. And here's a swing and a long drive to left field, way back to the wall, and Lake Bacher gives up a home run on the first swing of the ninth inning, and it's a 3-run game in favor of Miami. Welcome to the game, Lake Bacher. The third home run of the season for Ivan Herrera.
But that's all the Cardinals could get in South Florida.
I'm John Rooney, and yesterday in Miami, the Cardinals did not start Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, or Alec Burleson, as the Cardinals, following a day off today, will have 17 consecutive games, beginning with a 3-game series against Seattle coming up tomorrow night. The Cardinals just couldn't get anything going until Gorman got a double in the 7th inning. Nolan made third base and was stranded there. He was the first Cardinal runner to make second and third in the game. And then Ivan Herrera greeted Luke Bacher with a home run on the first pitch of the 9th inning, the only Cardinal run as Miami won 4-1. The win to Jansen Junk, he went 5 innings, 1-2. Kyle Leahy was the loser, 2-3. Pete Fairbanks had to come on to save the game, getting the last 2 outs. He has 5 saves and 6 save opportunities. The Cardinals are home to open that series against Seattle tomorrow night. 7:15 is game time, and Andre Palante will be on the mound looking for his 3rd win.
The Memphis Redbirds hit 3 home runs in a 9-7 win over Norfolk last night. Jimmy Crooks, his 8th of the year. Joshua Baez, Nelson Velasquez also hit him. Baez went about 435 feet. The Redbirds have some sluggers down there. The NFL Draft is tonight in Pittsburgh. Number 1 pick overall expected to be Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, national champion from Indiana, going to the Raiders. The Jets will pick 2nd, and then you could see Jeremiah Love, the St. Louisan, the running back from Notre Dame, going 3rd to Arizona. The Titans will also be there looking at running backs, and you know who would love to have them, I'll bet you. The New York Giants at 5. Here's Love.
Great organization. If I was to go to New York, a very good place where I can market myself. They're building something special over there, I feel like. They got they just got like a really big fullback. I think it was with the Ravens. Forgot his name, but they getting that run game together, it seems to look like. So
Love is some talent. We'll see where he goes, but I think he's certainly a top 5 pick in the NFL Draft tonight in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Penguins are on the ropes in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're down 0-3 now after the Flyers thumped them 5-2 last night. Dallas up 2-1 on Minnesota after winning on the road in double overtime 4-3. Anaheim evened things up with Edmonton 1-1 after winning on the road 6-4. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us, and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the website, bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
All Access with Ollie Marmol on the Gas House Gang.
You're constantly trying to figure out how to get meaningful information through to the player in a way where they can put it into action. If they can shoot holes in your game or in your information or your delivery, you're done. If you come into those and you're 80% prepared and they can shoot holes in your messaging or in your points that you're trying to make, you lose credibility real quick, and you're not gaining that back anytime soon.
Ollie Marmol, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
Do you need to sell a home? You might be doing all kinds of mental gymnastics in your head right now. Like, is this the right time? What's the season? How much should I consider? What other, you're doing all the calculations. You don't need to do it. You just need the right agent. And that agent is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Because the truth is, a great agent can sell your home regardless of what's happening with the market and the economy. And Gloria will actually guarantee it in writing that she'll sell your home or she'll buy it herself. Of course, Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date, but she'll put it in writing, an upfront written guarantee. So that takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders, right? So you can concentrate on all the other things that are involved in moving, because it can be a very stressful time. So take some of that stress off your shoulders by having Gloria Liu and her team on your side. Gloria will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. You probably have questions, or maybe you're interviewing agents. Give her a call at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online right now at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
All right, what's going on out there, Frank Ladd, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center?
Just the one off the pace stretch, one slowdown spot. You've got stop-and-go traffic now northbound on 55 between Bayless and the work zone. By the time you make your way to Loughborough, it's a pretty good run into downtown St. Louis. Little off the pace stretch northbound on Highway 55, ramping onto Highway 270 northbound, then sluggish headed up towards Gravois. Back on the brakes again between Big Bend, Doherty Ferry, Manchester, headed up towards Highway 64, that normal stretch. Starting to fill in, though, as well, eastbound on Highway 64 between McKnight and Big Bend. Westbound 5564 looks good into downtown St. Louis, as does westbound Highway 70. Delay-free out in St. Charles County, eastbound on Highway 64 from Winghaven, make your way towards the Boone Bridge. You got a pocket of volume eastbound on Highway 70, just past Lake St. Louis. By the time you make your way up to Highway K, you're wide open back towards the Blanchette Bridge. Our next traffic update at 7:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Should be a really nice day today with sun mixing with clouds, a high of 84 degrees. But periods of rain and a thunderstorm tonight, and then we could be looking at a stormy afternoon tomorrow. Right now it's sunny and 60 degrees.
Illinois surpasses 100 tornadoes for the fourth year in a row. CBS News correspondent Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago.
Second, the preliminary count for tornadoes across the state of Illinois stands at 101 and counting, nearly double the annual average of 54. Last Friday, an EF2 twister with 130-mile-per-hour winds struck the northwest Illinois town of Reno, where Rich Tessendorf lives.
This community helps everybody, no matter where they're from.
Just overwhelming, the support.
Illinois also leads the nation in hail reports, and heavy rain has led to flooding. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News, Chicago.
Families of 5 children killed in a central Illinois crash are now taking legal action. WBBM's Glenn Marshall.
There were no protective barriers whatsoever that would have stopped the forward momentum of that vehicle.
The families have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against both the driver and the Why Not after-school camp in Chatham, Illinois. The suit claims the facility was built too close to a highway in violation of safety codes and lacked adequate barriers to protect children. Lance Northcutt is partner with Slavi, Shostak, and Pritchard, and he's representing the families.
This vehicle came in through the wall. They couldn't have seen it coming, and by the time they saw that vehicle, it was already in. And what happened inside is beyond comprehension.
The driver, Marianne Akers, was never criminally charged. Her attorney says she suffered a seizure and had no recollection of the crash. The April 2025 incident killed 5 children ranging in age from 7 to 18.
We're talking about children that were killed, that were dragged, and other children, their classmates, some of whom are siblings of these children that were killed, that watched this entire thing unfold.
Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The Speaker of the Illinois House says a proposed constitutional amendment that's cleared a hurdle at the state capitol will ensure the state is ready if the U.S. Supreme Court overturns the Voting Rights Act.
Members of the House approved the amendment from Speaker and Chicago Democrat Emanuel Chris Welch, which would require that the maps used to determine your representatives in Washington and Springfield be drawn with an eye toward preserving racial minority voices.
The democracy of the people, by the people, and for the people must include all of the people.
But Republicans, including Dan Ugaste from St. Charles, told colleagues before the vote the amendment would take away voters' voices.
We as legislators then choose our voters instead of them choosing us.
And Adam Niemerg from Effingham County called it another attempt to silence his party.
I have family that can't vote for me because they live a mile away.
But Chicago Democrat Will Guzzardi said the House looks like Illinois because of the maps drawn with the Voting Rights Act in mind.
This amendment is a vital step toward ensuring that that proceeds.
3/5 of the Senate must approve it by May 3rd to get it on November's ballot. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
In Missouri, voters will get their chance to decide whether to gradually eliminate the state income tax and expand sales taxes on goods and services. The state legislature has passed the proposed change to the Missouri Constitution that is a priority for Governor Mike Kehoe. State Representative Bishop Davidson of Southwest Missouri's Republic is the sponsor of the proposal.
We have been reducing income taxes over the last decade, began those triggers, I believe it was 2016. We've reduced from a 6% to a 4.7% rate, and not a single year of those have we seen reduced revenues or shortfalls. And so I think that speaks to how we have been overtaxing.
The proposal is expected to be on the November ballot.
A new boutique hotel expected to open soon in Lafayette Square. The Truett St. Louis on Waverly Place is the vision of a duo who've opened 3 historic Kansas City boutique hotels, 2 of which were named by Condé Nast Traveler as top luxury hotels. David Tron tells the Business Journal they love historic walkable neighborhoods and feel St. Louis is an untapped market for small-scale boutique hotels. The Lafayette Square property is currently listed as a 6-bedroom, single-family home.
It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. How's your yard looking? Maybe you have ideas about what you would like it to look like or what you wish it looked like. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They do free project design. So you just say, I'd really like this and maybe that, and they'll put a plan together that will knock your socks off. Not just the planning, but the execution as well, because Chesterfield Fence and Deck has their own crews, their own installation crews with years of experience. And that's really important because I know a lot of people who have had fences and other things installed by people who clearly didn't know what they were doing. So value is what you get with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because when you spend the money, it's going to be a quality project that lasts for years to come. And if you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, whether it's for a fence, a deck, a patio, pergola, sunroom, screen room, you name it, they can do it in your outdoor space. ChesterfieldFence.com.
Do you ever feel like people are mumbling more than they used to? Or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow? If this sounds familiar, familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
Taking care of your health should be simple, and with the Neovitin monthly subscription, it finally is. Choose your doctor-formulated multivitamin, and we'll deliver it straight to your door every month. No more running out, no more remembering to reorder, just consistent nutrition made easy. Plus, subscribers save 10% every month and can pause or cancel at any time. Visit neovitin.com and start your subscription today. Neovitin, trusted nutrition every day.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
At 7:30, beautiful morning, sunny, 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and this is Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we have reports of a head-on crash now northbound Highway 61 involving a school bus, northbound 61 just north of Moscow Mills at Highway C. They're checking for injuries there as emergency crews show up on the scene. That's northbound 61 near Highway C, Moscow Mills. Southbound 61, you're busy headed towards the interchange with Highway 70. Still dealing with a pocket of IM eastbound Highway 70 at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Northbound on Highway 270 this morning, you're stop and go in that stretch between 55 and Tesson Ferry. North of there, just heavy, passing Gravois. Then again, back on the brakes near Highway 44, headed up towards Highway 64. Northbound on 55, you get your normal delays starting at Bayless, make your way up towards the River to Pear and the Loughborough. The road construction is what's slowing you down there. And we're heavy into downtown St. Louis now, westbound 5564, approaching the Poplar from the Eadsbridge split. Our next traffic update at 7:40, Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Joe Lundberg says this sunshine will mix with clouds today, breezy and very warm this afternoon, high 84. Tonight, breezy, otherwise cloudy and warm. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm late, low 64. For tomorrow, clouds and a shower early, then some sun at times in the afternoon with a thunderstorm in spots late, a high of 75. It's 61 in Florissant, 61 in St. Peters, sunny and 61 downtown at the Arch.
One of the suspects in a Collinsville murder-for-hire scheme is set to be sentenced today. 46-year-old Gary Johnson was found guilty of first-degree murder last month in the killing of 32-year-old Portia Rowland. Rowland was shot and killed in her driveway in January 2025 as she warmed up her car. Johnson is one of 3 people charged with her death. He previously served 20 years in prison for a St. Clair County murder. Prosecutors are pushing for a life sentence.
People across the area have been showing up by the hundreds to fight data centers in Festus, in St. Charles, in Pacific.
And the day after St. Louis City approved one in the Armory area, those concerns echo through a Senate hearing room. Josh Hawley told HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. that neighbors' health questions are not going away.
They worry about decibel levels, causing things like headaches, migraines, vertigo, other neurological disorders.
Kennedy says the risks deeply concern him.
There's a range of injuries that are very, very well documented. They're neurological, very, very grave neurological injuries, cancer risk, and then just the making the blood-brain barrier permeable so more toxins can get into the brain.
Kennedy says he's asked the Surgeon General's office to begin reviewing the science. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Digging into the new Kansas City Royals Stadium and what St. Louis can learn from how that plan was put together, the stadium would displace one of Missouri's most famous corporate campuses. Hallmark has anchored the Crown Center District since 1956.
But Hallmark Executive Chairman Don Hall says the company is agreeing to vacate its historic offices to make way for home plate.
Our headquarters will be moving to make room for the new stadium. Our buildings have been home to generations of Hallmarkers and some of our most memorable corporate moments since we located there in 1956. While these buildings have served us very well, we are very excited about moving to a newer building that will be even better suited for our work today and into the future.
Hallmark, much like St. Louis's Enterprise Mobility, is a corporate giant that is still privately owned by its founding family. Hallmark also isn't leaving the neighborhood. The company plans to build a new headquarters within the new baseball district.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:33.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in home. Like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
It is now 7:35. Let's get you updated on your Money Minute from Bloomberg, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Hyundai is facing a 1-2 punch of tariffs and price hikes for raw materials due to the Iran war. The automaker posted quarterly earnings that missed Wall Street expectations. The Middle East conflict is causing havoc with supply chains and driving up production costs. Plus, Hyundai continues to face the fallout over tariffs. While levies have been reduced to 15% from 25% under a trade deal with South Korea, the ongoing pressure remains a drag on margins. Checking on the markets, the S&P 500 wrapped up the session yesterday at an all-time high. This morning, futures are taking a hit on a lack of progress in the U.S.-Iran negotiations. And more potential home buyers are backing out of deals. According to Redfin, nearly 53,000 home sale agreements fell through last month. That's about 1 in 7 contracts. House hunters are getting cold feet as costs continue to stay high and there's economic uncertainty in the air. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Well, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis can do it today. Your garage door, is it starting to make a little noise? Are you curious? When's the last time you tuned it up? You can't remember? 314-781-5200. It won't cost you much either. They have great value, great technicians, great history, 100 years, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The best in the business, Tom Ackerman for Overhead Door. Here's something else. Talk about numbers. If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day because entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. All you have to do is go online to overheaddoorstlouis.com. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors. Deadline to enter is the end of this month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes. OverheadDoorStLouis.com. Can't win if you don't enter. OverheadDoorStLouis.com. Hi,
this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Presented by Worldwide Technology, the BizDash 5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at stlbizdash.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It is 7:39. In an overnight session, the U.S. Senate passed a $70 billion spending resolution to fund the Department of Homeland Security, partially shut down without funding for more than 2 months. It was a 50-48 vote as the Senate passed a resolution instructing Senate committees to draft legislation funding DHS for $70 billion over the next 3 years. Using the budget reconciliation process, Republicans needed just a bare majority and moved ahead over Democratic opposition.
New York has struck down the transgender bathroom policies at 2 Long Island school districts. The Massapequa and Locust Valley Central School Districts were requiring students to use the bathrooms and locker rooms that aligned with their sex assigned at birth. State Education Commissioner Betty Rosa has now tossed out those policies, saying they are discriminatory and violate state law. She says students should use the bathroom that most closely aligns with their gender identity.
It's 7:40 and time for us to get a check of the roadways. Hopefully your ride in is clear and smooth sailing, but Frank Ladd would know more. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we've got a serious crash involving a head-on crash with a school bus near Moscow Mills on northbound Highway 61 at Highway C, north of Moscow Mills. Southbound drivers are slowing. They're sending out emergency vehicals, additional emergency vehicles now to take care of the accident scene and to block the highway. Had reports of 2 students on the bus. This is north on Highway 61 at Moscow Mills. So that's what's causing those delays up there in Lincoln County. This update is brought to you by the Missouri History Museum's Route 66 Centennial Festival, April 30th through May 3rd. Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, a neon display, kids crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival. Our next traffic update at 7:50. Frank Ladd at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. I see rain is back in the forecast.
That it is. We've had a nice run of weather, Tom, over the past couple of days, and it looks like it continues through the daylight hours of today. Sunshine mixing with clouds, a warm breeze, and our high gets to 84. But as a weakening front approaches the area tonight, we'll see a gathering of clouds, followed by some rain and a thunderstorm late tonight. The overnight, though, in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we start with cloud and a shower, then some sunshine returns. And there may be a stray thunderstorm in the afternoon, but a good bit of the day, I think, is rain-free, the high 75. Nice day with no rain on Saturday and more sunshine, the high 79. We get to Sunday, clouds increase again, could lead to an afternoon shower, the high 78. Monday looks stormy. There's a concern for severe thunderstorms. Temperatures Monday in the low 80s. Right now, it's 62 degrees at St. Peter's, 63 in Florissant, 65 with sunshine downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is now 7:42, and the Trump administration is working on a plan to bail out and possibly take over Spirit Airlines. The low-cost carrier is struggling with rising fuel prices due to Trump's war with Iran. Many lawmakers from both parties think it's a bad idea. CBS News transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve is at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
There appear to be very few rational reasons why the government would want to bail Spirit out.
Brian Summers tracks airline financials for the Airline Observer. What's in it for taxpayers?
There is not a lot in this for taxpayers. Sometimes airlines are just unsavable, and that appears to be the case here.
There's a new look at housing costs for renters.
A new Zillow study finds the typical monthly rent in March was $1,910, up nearly 2% from 1 year ago, but it's the slowest rate of growth in rental costs since December 2020. Rents have fallen in some cities, including Austin, San Antonio, and Tampa. To afford that typical rent, a household must earn at least $76,400 a year. That's up 35% from before the pandemic. And Zillow says the median household spent 26.5% of its income on rent last month. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The mental health challenges facing rural kids versus urban kids. We get that story from correspondent Michael George.
Kids in rural and urban areas can face different mental health challenges. A study in China found that rural children were more likely to experience emotional and psychological problems, including depression, while urban children were more likely to show behavioral problems and ADHD. The reasons why remain unclear.
The creators of a highly sought-after furry monster are under fire for alleged labor violations.
A New York Times investigation found Pop Mart, the Chinese company that sells Labubu dolls and charms, uses Xinjiang cotton for the tiny clothing. The U.S. bans sale of products made in the region because of forced labor involving ethnic Muslim Uyghurs. A Pop Mart spokeswoman tells the Times it'll conduct testing of its own, but insists the company holds itself and its suppliers to the highest standards. Labubu's triggered a global craze, with shoppers waiting in line for hours and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for the dolls. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Violators of the U.S. rule can be put on a blacklist that bans all of their products from being sold here.
One of the NFL draft round one of the NFL draft kicks off later tonight. It's back in Pittsburgh for the first time since 1948.
It's a draft night tradition and a guarantee. Booing NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell when he steps to the podium. After that, all bets are off. The Vegas Raiders have the top overall selection. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Fernando Mendoza is the heavy favorite to go first. Other top potentials, a couple of edges, Arvell Reese out of Ohio State and Texas Tech's David Bailey. The Jets, Cardinals, Titans, and Giants round out the top five, and of course we'll have to wait until Saturday to find out who will be this year's Mr. Irrelevant. Barring any trades, the Broncos have the final pick of the 7th round. Erica Herskowitz for CBS News.
Erica, I think there's a good chance that our St. Louis kid is going to be picked 3rd, 4th, or 5th. He's the running back from CBC. From Notre Dame, he's Jeremiah Love.
Love, look out. Jeremiah can't bring him down inside the 35.
He can be a freight train out there, and if you don't get in his way, he can run around you. He can run over you. He can jump over you. He has incredible ability. Jeremiah Love could go as high as 3 to Arizona. That's the buzz out of some of these NFL teams, and the mock drafts have him going as high as 3 to the Arizona Cardinals. The Tennessee Titans will be waiting at 4 possibly, and the New York Giants, well, I'll bet you they'd love to have him at 5. Jeremiah Love, the Notre Dame and CBC product. Meanwhile, the St. Louis Cardinals are off today. They'll be playing the Seattle Mariners tomorrow at Busch Stadium. It's the start of 3 games. Then they go to Pittsburgh for 4. Then they're back home to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers for 3. The Cardinals lost to the Marlins yesterday 4-1. Couldn't get much offense going, but they sure did down in Memphis. The Cardinals crushed, and I mean crushed, 3 home runs at the AAA level yesterday. The Memphis Redbirds beat Norfolk 9-7. Jimmy Crooks hit his 8th of the year, a tank out to right at 387 feet. And then Joshua Baez hit one 435 feet out to center. A moonshot from Nelson Velazquez to left, 3 home runs for the Cardinal Sluggers down at AAA, so they have some reserves there if they want to go get them. The NL Central is tight right now. The Reds lead by a half game The Cardinals and the Cubs are right there. It is. Let's take a look at it, actually, how tight this is, just to illustrate it. The Brewers are the last place team in their 3 games over 500. The Reds lead the Cubs by a half game. The Cubs have won 8 in a row. The Pirates and Cardinals sit a game and a half out, and then the Brewers are 2 out. Stanley Cup playoffs, it was a win for the Dallas Stars. They beat Minnesota 4-3 in double overtime. Wyatt Johnston had the game winner, and the Stars are up 2-1 in that series. Philadelphia is up 3-0 on Pittsburgh after a 5-2 win last night, and Anaheim even things with Edmonton winning on the road 6-4. In the NBA, it was Detroit over Orlando 98-83. That series is tied at a game apiece. Oklahoma City's up 2-0 on Phoenix with a 120-107 win. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let's give it to you. The parlay of the day, sponsored by Circus Sports, sports betting the way it should be. I'm actually looking at, because it's the NFL draft tonight, the odds to win the Super Bowl. You know where the Super Bowl is this coming season? February 14th, Valentine's Day. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. And the favorite to win the Super Bowl, the Rams at plus 660. Forget about it. No way. No way. Seahawks, the defending champions at plus 900s, also a no way. They're not going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Forget it. Bills plus 950. I'd love to say yes, but they seem to find a way to give it away every time. Ravens plus 1,200. Chargers plus 1,300. No and no. I'll tell you what, I kind of like the Chiefs at plus 1475. I mean, I think that's a team that's going to try to prove everybody wrong and come back with a vengeance. So we'll keep an eye on that. And Ins and Outs sponsored by Innsbrook, where every day is the weekend. Innsbrook-resort.com. Love Innsbrook. If you know by now, I've been talking about it for a long time. Love Innsbrook. Now, for a while, Innsbrook was a secret. It had been around for almost 50 years, and not a lot of people knew except for the people who owned and rented out at Innsbrook. Well, no longer. That place is hopping. It's fun. But the great thing about Innsbrook is you can be away from everybody. I mean, it is 7,500 acres. Every one of those homes, it seems, is tucked into the woods with a view of a lake or a view of the beautiful property around, and you're just off on your own, by yourself, enjoying vacation with your family and friends. You want to go into town and enjoy a concert, maybe a little shopping, bite to eat, round of golf, what have you. You can do that too, but it is a great vacation spot. It's in Innsbrook. Innsbrook-resort.com.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:51. Let's check in with Frank Ladd. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
LW crews just cleared a crash across the highway, eastbound on Highway 44 at the Hampton Avenue overpass. So it's over on the right shoulder now, so it had been blocking several lanes. A little bit of a slowdown there. Working with a crash reportedly eastbound Highway 64 near Hanley. So you have your heavy ramping on to eastbound 64, southbound on 170, northbound on Highway 55. You've got your normal delays now between Bayless and the roadwork zone. You're off the pace as well, northbound on 270 between 44 and between 55 and Highway 44. Also a crash reported northbound on Highway 270 at Big Bend. North of there, just sluggish. Make your way up towards 64. And out in Lincoln County, it's a head-on school bus crash, and its southbound drivers are stopped now and being diverted off the highway southbound 61 at Highway C at Moscow Mills. Northbound drivers slowing as well, approaching the accident scene. Two adults on the school bus, so one passenger vehicle involved as well. This is southbound Highway 61 and northbound Highway 61 near Moscow Mills, Highway C. I'm Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Nice day today. High 84, says Joe Lundberg. Sun mixing with clouds. Maybe some rain late tonight. A thunderstorm, low 64. Otherwise, tomorrow, a thunderstorm in spots late. High 75. It's 62 right now.
Anheuser-Busch is tapping into a $600 million bet on American workers. The St. Louis brewer says it plans to retrain and upskill more than 90% of its manufacturing workforce over the next 5 years. That move part of a broader investment in U.S. operations that includes 15 new technical training centers and expanded opportunities for veterans. The company has been building toward this since opening its first Technical Excellence Center in St. Louis in 2022.
The American Lung Association has released its annual State of the Air report, grading metro areas and counties for their air quality. How did St. Louis do?
The national report found nearly half of all children in the U.S. are breathing unhealthy air, including nearly 500,000 kids in Missouri. The metro area here was named the 24th most polluted in the nation for ozone pollution and received a grade of F. The American Lung Association's Will Barrett.
When we see the increased trends over time for more ozone pollution in certain areas or more particle pollution in certain areas, driven by local pollution sources or wildfires or extreme heat events, we know that that's putting more people at risk for a wide range of negative health outcomes.
Bangor, Maine is the cleanest city for its air quality on this report. Los Angeles ranks number 1 for most polluted. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
A group of activists asking a site of a potential golf hub be retested for contaminants.
The Boys and Girls Club has plans to turn the old Carter Carburetor site into a kids' golf-themed rec space with the PGA. However, the Jeff Vanderloo Neighborhood Association's Carla Alexander says they are worried about contaminants remaining at the site, which was cleaned up by the EPA in 2020.
They're going to have to test the soil, the water, the air, and it has to be a thorough evaluation along with an emergency plan. What if the cap starts leaking? It's a lot of things going on that aren't in place and they're not being transparent with the community.
They are asking that the soil be retested ahead of any future work, despite the EPA reporting it is safe after their work in 2020. However, the site remains fenced off, and there does not appear to be any work happening to the grounds imminently. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
In a statement to KMOX, Brandon Williams, CEO Boys and Girls Club, says they have adhered to all required regulatory processes and will share additional plans for the site in the future.
St. Louis's declining population is getting serious. The metro area is number 1 for decline in birth rates. SLU demographer Ness Sandoval says in 20 years,
schools will ask the question, where are the children?
He says this is an historic decline, but the trend actually began in 2008. The only way to reverse it is to convince young people to move here and start families. But despite affordability, the other problem?
We're no longer a major metropolitan region in terms of new housing starts. We're ranked 58th in the country. Every mid-tier major region is outperforming our region in terms of new housing starts.
The most new builds are apartments lately that families with kids don't really want. He says the decline in babies born is region-wide, including St. Charles County.
It is 7:56.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Proudly serving Budweiser, a location near you, that's for sure. An ice-cold Budweiser. Man, oh man, does that sound good. Budweiser is brewed with only the finest 2-row and 6-row barley malt. That's just one of the 4 key ingredients in Budweiser. That barley malt is hand-selected from regional growers all across America. Budweiser also is brewed with rice. They brew their lager using fresh, verdant rice, milled, polished, grated, and immediately brewed for a crisp taste and a smooth finish. Where does that distinctive taste of Budweiser come from? Hops. Only the supplest, most aromatic hops are selected to create that taste of Budweiser, and our filtered water is tested daily for purity by the brewmasters. Budweiser, the king of beers, also the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball. They're both celebrating 150 years. This Bud's for you.
Of myself as the type to settle down. Never knew where the team's next lunch was coming from. But then I met you, Easy Cater.
Workplaces everywhere are saying, I do want delicious food at work. And they're ordering from beloved restaurants with Easy Cater.
You were reliable. You had great options for every budget, even when marketing ops did keto again. We got through that together. With you, it's just so easy. Easy Cater, will you keep showing up at my workplace forever?
Find love at first lunch. Order at easycater.com.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Considering buying or selling a home? When it comes to the Gelman team with eXp Realty, numbers don't lie. Over 1,500 Google and Zillow 5-star reviews, nearly 6,000 homes, and $2.5 billion in real estate sold. Call 314-336-1991, thegelmanteam.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Here is Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Watching a backup now eastbound on Highway 364 that extends up to Harvester. An accident there blocking the two right lanes eastbound on Highway 364. An accident there. Highway 61 is shut down at Moscow Mills. Traffic being diverted off at Highway C due to a head-on vehicle collision involving a school bus. You're backed up to looks like almost to Troy now, southbound on US 61. Northbound drivers on 61 slowing as well, approaching Moscow Mills. Our next traffic update at 8:10. Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunny, 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman. These are the stories making news. A church heavily damaged in last May's tornado has been demolished. What's next for the congregation? Sean Malone talks with the pastor.
We're hitting peak storm season again. What should we expect in the next week and beyond? AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg goes in depth.
Is stress a way of life for many of us? Megan Lynch talks with a psychologist about Stress Awareness Month.
And the weather is going to be really nice today, but storms moving in later tonight.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez, developing news from Washington. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche signed an order this morning reclassifying state-licensed medical marijuana as a less dangerous drug.
Blanche's order does not legalize marijuana at the federal level, but changes the way medical marijuana is regulated. It will now be a Schedule 3 drug, down from Schedule 1, which are drugs without medical uses and with high potential for abuse. The order also gives medical marijuana operators a big tax break and makes it easier for them to register with the DEA. Blanche says the administration is delivering on President Trump's promise to expand Americans' access to medical treatment options. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Early today on Capitol Hill.
This vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48, and the concurrent resolution, as amended, is agreed to.
Lawmakers took first steps to fully reopen the Department of Homeland Security and end a 3-month-old partial government shutdown. Correspondent Michael Toscano.
The Senate passed a resolution instructing Senate committees to draft legislation funding DHS for $70 billion over the next 3 years. Using the budget reconciliation process, Republicans needed just a bare majority and moved ahead over Democratic opposition.
Democrats had demanded policy changes after ICE agents shot and killed 2 protesters in Minneapolis. Wildfires have chewed through dozens of homes and neighborhoods in the southeast. CBS's Skylar Henry from Waynesville, Georgia.
In Bradley County, more than 50 homes have been lost, and 1,000 more are currently threatened.
It's very devastating. That's watching your kids' faces when you tell them that they wake up and go to school from a house, and then you pick them up and you have to tell them that they lost everything.
A government bailout could be announced today for a budget airline. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Spirit was already struggling, and then the cost to fly, i.e. jet fuel, has roughly doubled since the start of the year. That has put the airline in a tenuous situation.
Fuel prices linked to the Iran war climbing again. Oil's hovering above $100 a barrel. President Trump has just posted ordering the Navy to shoot and kill any boat laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. A new study finds yoga is a great way for heavier people to improve their cardiovascular health. CBS's Michael George.
A study in Scotland found people who practice yoga for at least 3 hours a week had a significant decrease in blood pressure and lower cholesterol. The study's authors say yoga is a gentle form of exercise that could be more accessible to people who are overweight or obese.
This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Thursday, April 23rd. I'm Megan Lynch. A deadly daytime shooting near the Metrolink station in the Delmar Loop. St. Louis police say they're investigating after a man was killed in the 700 block of Hodemont about 3 p.m. Eyewitnesses say two men got into an argument while getting off a Metro bus at the transit center there. One of them reportedly shot the other in the head. One of the suspects in a Collinsville murder-for-hire scheme set to be sentenced today. 46-year-old Gary Johnson found guilty of first-degree murder last month in the killing of 32-year-old Portia Rowland. Rowland was shot and killed in her driveway in January 2025 as she warmed up her car. Johnson is one of 3 people charged with Rowland's murder. He previously served 20 years in prison for a St. Clair County murder, prosecutors pushing for a life sentence. New questions about the science and health of data centers as proposals work through approvals across the St. Louis Metro. The day after the city of St. Louis gave its thumbs up to the Armory District Data Center project, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley put the health question directly to HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr.
These are massive. This is going to consume, I think it's 700 megawatts of power. That's enough for 300,000 homes in 1 year.
Kennedy did not dispute those concerns.
The risks to me are horrendous, and I've asked both ARPA and the Surgeon General's office to either do meta reviews or to do base studies on this issue so that we can better inform the American public.
It's 8:05. We're digging into the new Kansas City Royals Stadium and what St. Louis can learn from how that plan was put together. One unique point, the stadium would displace one of Missouri's most famous corporate campuses. Hallmark has anchored the Crown Center District since 1956, but Hallmark Executive Chairman Don Hall says the company's agreeing to vacate its historic offices to make way for home plate.
Our headquarters will be moving to make room for the new stadium. Our buildings have been home to generations of Hallmarkers and some of our most memorable corporate moments since we located there in 1956. While these buildings have served us very well, we are very excited about moving to a newer building that will be even better suited for our work today and into the future.
Hallmark, much like St. Louis's Enterprise Mobility, is a corporate giant that's still privately owned by its founding family. Hallmark also isn't leaving the neighborhood. The company plans to build a new headquarters within the new baseball district.
I'm Michael Calhoun.
You know, Governor, I think we're playing the Cardinals that day, and I think we're winning. We must be winning.
When St. Louis hears about a $3 billion new stadium in Kansas City, the first question is, who's paying for it? The Royals are covering 2/3 of the cost, but the state is pitching in. Governor Mike Kehoe says the state's share comes from retaining taxes that would otherwise leave for Kansas.
This does not affect any existing programs. There's people that say, well, if you do this for them, then if the Royals were not here, we'd have zero. And so these tools are designed about keeping those revenue streams and those income flows here. And that makes it a net positive for the state and for the investment.
KC Mayor Quinton Lucas emphasizes the public funding will rely on existing revenues and not introduce new taxes.
How did the St. Louis area stack up this year in the American Lung Association's annual State of the Air report? KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer tells us.
Nearly half of all children in the U.S. are breathing unhealthy levels of air pollution, according to the American Lung Association, including nearly 500,000 kids in Missouri. The St. Louis metropolitan area, including the Metro East, St. Charles, and Farmington, was named the 24th most polluted in the nation for ozone pollution and received a grade of F. The American Lung Association's Will Barrett says EPA rollbacks are partly to blame.
The Lung Association is really calling on everyone to call on EPA and tell them that our kids' health matters, that we need the EPA to move back to their mission of public health protection that they've ultimately started to withdraw from over the past year.
Bangor, Maine is the cleanest city for its air quality. Los Angeles ranks #1 for the worst. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, there's a new text scam in St. Louis. Residents have reported receiving a text message with a photo claiming to be from the Traffic Division of the Circuit Court of St. Louis County. The scam message claims people have tickets that need to be paid and urge them to pay them now. St. Louis County Police say no one from a court will ever contact you by phone or text to ask for a payment. It's 8:08, traffic and weather next.
A new game day favorite is coming to Busch Stadium on Saturday, April 25th, when the Cardinals host the Seattle Mariners. That day, fans take home a Victory Blue Cardinals crewneck sweatshirt presented by Purina, a light and easy style that's perfect for spring and designed to fit right into your everyday wardrobe. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. A limited look you'll want to wear again and again. Tickets and info at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Jose Fermin. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at cardinals.com.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year, this year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down. 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10, let's see how things are moving on the roads. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Megan. The right two lanes remain blocked eastbound on Highway 364. This accident is at Harvester. That has you backed up now to about Jungerman eastbound on Highway 364. They're still dealing with that crash, head-on school bus crash on Highway 61 at Moscow Mills. Southbound Highway 61 is closed at Highway C. You're being diverted off the highway there. Northbound drivers are slowing as well. Those delays start at Himmel, headed up towards Moscow Mills. Southbound, the delays start midway between Troy and Moscow Mills. So that's the incident out there in Lincoln County. Northbound on Highway 270, they've got that accident over to the right shoulder, headed north of Highway 44. Still seeing pockets of volume north of 44 up through Manchester Road and the Clayton Road overpass. Eastbound on Highway 64, we've really filled in now between Lindbergh and Big Bend. There had been an accident reported near Hanley. Never saw it on a camera, though, but it is certainly stop and go in that stretch between McKnight and Big Bend. Westbound 64, you're on the brakes now, passing Forest Park, headed out towards McCausland into downtown St. Louis. Westbound 55-64 approaching the Poplar Street Bridge is heavy, and it's still heavy approaching the work zone northbound on Highway 55 down near Loughborough. Our next traffic update at 8:20. Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A warm day today. Sunshine mixing with clouds, becoming breezy this afternoon, high 84. It'll remain breezy this evening. It'll cloud up overnight with some rain and a thunderstorm late, though 64. Tomorrow we'll start with cloud and a shower, then some sun at times for the afternoon with a late day thunderstorm showing up, the high 75. A nice warm start to the weekend Saturday with some sunshine, the high 79. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And we're going to check in with Joe in a few minutes to go more in depth on what storms we could see over the next couple of weeks. Right now, we do have sunny skies, 65 degrees in Florissant, 63 in St. Peter's, 63 as well downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. A cornerstone of St. Louis's Fountain Park community has been demolished 11 months after it was destroyed in the May 16th tornado. The spire of the Centennial Christian Church collapsed in that storm, killing one person and trapping others. KMOX's Sean Malone spoke with the historic church's pastor, the Reverend Dr. Deetra Wise Baker.
So what does the demolition of the church mean for you guys and your congregation?
It's a mixture. It's a time of grief. Obviously, this is a historic Black Christian Church Disciples of Christ church in the city of St. Louis, the only Black Disciples of Christ church in the city of St. Louis. So, difficult for the community, for the church community, to see the building come down with generations of leaders and community leadership coming from that congregation. But it also gives the congregation an opportunity to reimagine, to rethink, to resurrect a new ministry for this time and this season. We're still committed to being in Fountain Park, and so there's an opportunity to do something new, and we think God's going to do something new.
That was going to be one of my follow-up questions is the plan for this site. Are you planning on rebuilding a new church here at this site, or will the church permanently be moving somewhere else?
The plan is for the church. The church has committed and voted to stay in Fountain Park. Obviously, we have to go through the details of a construction plan and all that stuff. And I think you all know that sometimes there's barriers that you're not aware of until you get into that process. So we're very early in that process, but the church has historic ministries in health, in hunger, and housing. We have 3 affordable housing units that we sponsored into being that are already in the city of St. Louis. The church's intention is to rebuild a church center. It wouldn't be just a place for worship, but also for community work, co-working space, to continue our hunger and feeding ministries. And we have great hopes that we'll be able to do a clinic, continuing our health ministry screenings and in partnership with folks that we have in the community, WashU, SLU, and others that have partnered with us over the years to do health work in the community. So we're hoping that hunger, housing, and health continue in that final vision.
And that would be at this site?
And it would be at that site. That is the plan. But like I said, we have to go through the process.
We talked about how hard this is for the community, this historic church coming down. But is there any sense of healing with this church coming down that, you don't have to see it in its damaged state anymore? And
absolutely,
visually, it's a sign of moving forward past the tragedy of the May 16th tornado.
Absolutely. We were delayed in getting the building down because we were trying to get some of our historic windows and relics in the building out. And with all the damage to churches in the community, there was some delay with being able to do that. But we were able to get that. But we were like, we have to have it down before the anniversary, so that we can heal more deeply, and so that the community can heal more deeply without that visual. So that's absolutely right, and we are in total agreement that we know that our church is an anchor in the community. And so, not seeing that will help not just us, but our neighbors begin to for us to all face forward together for what's next.
Were you able to get some of those relics back?
Yeah, we were able to get some of the windows and some important pieces inside the church. And so the church has secured sort of those historical pieces that it wants to hold on to for the future, and is looking forward to the next phase of designing and listening to the community and hearing more deeply how our broad vision can come into implementation in Fountain Park.
Anything else I didn't ask you about that you think would be good for people to know?
I mean, I always just say, to let the community know, we're committed, not just to Fountain Park, but to North City. And there's a lot that has not happened in the city of St. Louis in terms of the recovery. Fountain Park is one of the neighborhoods that you can see some progress in North City. You go to some other neighborhoods, there's very little progress. And we all have to band together and understand that we're one North City. And so just encouraging us all to make sure that everybody in every neighborhood in North City is made whole.
That is Dr. Deetra Wise Baker, pastor of Centennial Christian Church in Fountain Park. We are hitting the peak time of year for severe weather once again. I put in a call to AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg to see what we're looking at this week in terms of severe storms.
I think over the next few days we're going to be pretty quiet, Megan. Just a couple of showers and a thunderstorm will come through the area late tonight and tomorrow morning, and that does not look like it's going to be anything in the way of severe weather. That's different. As we go into Monday, it looks like a much bigger storm system will be heading northeastward toward the Great Lakes. As it does, the environment looks much more ripe for stronger thunderstorms, and there's a threat for severe weather then Monday into early Monday night. And all hazards, I think, would be in play. That would be large hail, damaging winds, and a threat for tornadoes.
So when we look at the weather that we are expecting this spring, is this going to be a year where we have our typical number of storms?
Probably so, Megan. It looks as if there's going to be some breaks, though. Once you get past the storm system early next week, there'll be several days where the weather is much more stable and actually relatively cool. But then it tries to warm up again, and it looks like toward the end of next week, there's another storm system that could produce severe weather. Then you get a break, then it warms up again, and you get another opportunity for severe weather. So as we go into the month of May, I think there'll be these periods where there will be an uptick in severe activity, and then some periods in between where it's not that bad. But it's the time of the year. May is really typically a high month for severe weather activity across the region.
What would you tell our listeners about just being prepared and staying prepared, not getting complacent about this?
Well, as you listen to the forecast and we give advance notice of the potential for severe storms 3, 4, 5 days in advance, make preparations, think ahead to that particular day in question. And I don't know if you've got lawn furniture out or something like that. You might want to make sure you secure things like that. And then as you get to the day of, keep closer attention to the forecast, and the radar updates as to what's unfolding across the area. And you need to obviously take cover. Stay inside. And if there's a higher tornado risk than normal, seek inside shelter in the safest part of your house. Something with secure walls as best as you can, like a bathroom or something like that.
Joe, thank you for always keeping us updated. We appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Let's get updated on the roads now with Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This update brought to you by Financial and Tax Strategies. Still dealing with this head-on school bus collision southbound on Highway 61 approaching Moscow Mills. You're being diverted off at Highway C now due to the accident scene. Northbound Highway 61 drivers slowing at Himmel, making your way toward Moscow Mills. So use some caution through that stretch. I'm watching a vehicle fire on southbound Highway 170 now. It is just between Page and Olive. All lanes of southbound 170 are shut down now. The vehicle fire is over on the right shoulder, but they've got emergency crews on the scene. Lots of white smoke now pouring off of this vehicle. Working with an accident as well eastbound on Highway 364 near Harvester. They've got that moved over to the right shoulder. I'm Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
We're going to have have a sunny day today. A few clouds, breezy and warm this afternoon, a high of 84. Right now, sunshine, 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. Up next, CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland is going to join me. We'll talk about the abrupt departure of the U.S. Navy Secretary.
Hi, St. Louis. This is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner of Timberline Professional Tree Care. The weather's warming up, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get back outside and start thinking about your trees. When you reach for your phone to call a tree contractor, we hope you'll give Timberline the opportunity to earn your business. Timberline is locally owned and operated and fully dedicated to delivering the best overall customer experience while providing the highest quality care for your trees. Every one of our crews includes at least one ISA-certified arborist on site, not just in the office, but right there at your home, so you can be confident the work is done safely, correctly, and always with your tree's best interests in mind. From planting and fertilization to pruning and removal, we're committed to excellence in everything trees. So when it's time to make that call Timberline Professional Tree Care at 636-479-7475 or visit us online at stltreecare.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Pentagon says Navy Secretary John Phelan is leaving his role effective immediately. Let's check in with CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland this morning. Colonel, how unusual is this change at a time when the Navy is heavily involved in the war in Iran?
This is very unusual, to say the least. It comes at the same time that there was a large conference, an annual conference for the Navy ongoing, and the Navy had just rolled out its proposal for shipbuilding budget to the tune of about $65.5 billion. And you're also quite right, Megan. It comes at a time when really the United States Navy is perhaps involved in the longest series of sustained combat operations since perhaps World War II, in terms of the war in Iran, which is largely naval in many ways, aircraft coming off aircraft carriers, and now enforcing a blockade.
Now, when it comes to direct involvement by a Navy secretary, will his departure have any real impact on operations in the Middle East right now?
No, not really, because that's mostly managed by the Central Command commander, who happens to be a Navy admiral at this particular moment, Admiral Cooper. The service secretary and the chief of naval operations, as with the other service chiefs and secretaries, primary responsibility is what we call a force provider. Their ability to provide the forces required, recruitment, retention, shipbuilding, maintenance, facilities, and the like. That's what really their job is. And we're at a kind of a critical moment because there seems to be more and more demand for an expansion of the United States Navy. In fact, it appears that some of the disagreement between the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Hegseth, and Phelan was over the direction the Navy was taking. Phelan argued for the so-called Golden Fleet. He was the guy ostensibly who proposed a new battleship, Mr. Trump seemed to like, and new frigates. Hegseth and the Undersecretary, Mr. Feinberg, were more interested in unmanned vessels, submarines, covert aircraft, and the greater use of cyber.
Now, Phelan hadn't served in the military. He hadn't had a civilian leadership role in the service before taking on this role. Should a Navy secretary have some of that background?
Well, it's very useful. It is a little bit surprising that Mr. Phelan had no real military or particularly Navy background. His deputy, Mr. Chow, who has taken over as acting secretary, was actually a Navy veteran. It appears that Phelan's greatest claim was he is a successful businessman, close personal friend of Mr. Trump's, and actually, I think, owns property not far from Mar-a-Lago down in Florida.
All right. That is CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Still ahead on Total Information AM this hour. Are you stressed? You're not alone. It is Stress Awareness Month. I'll talk with psychologist Dr. Erica Rutledge. Also ahead, there's been a nationwide school bus shortage. It actually started after the pandemic. Illinois has come up with a solution for this, and they're seeing some results. I'm going to talk with Jenna Schweikert. She's with Capital News Illinois and has been covering the story. She'll join me this morning at 8:41. It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Is your garage door past its prime? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renters also hire experienced techs and installers. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's now 8:30. Frank Ladd has been keeping us updated on that school bus situation. Let's get the latest from him. He joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, it looks like the highway is still shut down there. That's Highway 61 at Moscow Mills. Shut down southbound drivers are being diverted off at Highway C. Northbound drivers are slowing in Himmel, headed up towards Moscow Mills. It's southbound drivers, the delays extend back to almost Troy. Southbound on 170 remains closed, south of Page, headed towards Olive, just before Olive due to a vehicle fire there. Emergency crews still on the scene there. All lanes shut down. That has you backed up to the Rock Road now, southbound on 170. Headed eastbound on Highway 64, you're going to a run into volume now between Clayton Warson and Big Bend. Westbound 64 thinning out passing Forest Park. Westbound on 55-64, still a pocket of volume into downtown St. Louis, crossing the Poplar, and still seeing pockets of volume northbound on Highway 270 this morning, making your way north of 44, headed up towards Highway 64. This update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today, now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Our next traffic update at 8:40, Frank Ladden, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it's going to be a sunny day today. A few clouds, breezy, very warm this afternoon with a high of 84. Breezy this evening, otherwise cloudy and warm. We may see some rain, possibly a thunderstorm late tonight with an overnight low of 64. Tomorrow, clouds, a shower early, then sun at times in the afternoon. A thunderstorm may pop up tomorrow afternoon, a high of 75 degrees. And then Saturday, nice and warm, more sun than clouds, a high of 79. Currently, we have 65 degrees in Florissant, 63, both St. Peter's and downtown at the Arch. The latest on the war in Iran now. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning that he's directed the U.S. Navy to take action against any Iranian boats placing mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Iran has released a video of its forces seizing 2 ships in the strait. The U.S. put out similar footage earlier this week. CBS News senior national correspondent Charlie D'Agata following developments from Tel Aviv, Israel.
A highly produced video released by Iran's Revolutionary Guards, complete with soundtrack and drone footage, purportedly shows commandos seizing 2 container ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Fast attack boats closing in on the MSC Francesca and the Epaminondas. An assault force scaling ladders before sweeping through the vessels. The crews are said to be safe, but Iran's message is clear. Commercial ships attempting to pass through the strait are legitimate targets. Iran claiming retaliation for the U.S. capture of 2 vessels this week, with a member of its parliament taunting an eye for an eye, a tanker for a tanker. In a further show of defiance, state TV aired video of what it said were 2 of Iran's advanced ballistic missiles in a pro-government rally, showing Iranians shouting "Death to America." While U.S. Central Command put out its own message, listing the warships, military aircraft, and drones making up the U.S. Navy's own blockade south of the strait. At last tally, it said more than 30 vessels, the majority oil tankers, have been turned around.
It's 8:34. We'll have your money report next.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
8:35, time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
The jet fuel bills are piling up for American Airlines. The carrier cut its financial targets for the year and even flagged the possibility of losses in 2026. American says its fuel costs have jumped by $4 billion. Separately, American and Alaska Air are said to be pursuing potential revenue-sharing agreements and other strategic partnerships. Sources tell us a full merger was also discussed, but those plans did not get off the ground. No comment from either airline. Checking on your money, the S&P 500 climbed to an all-time high yesterday on a slew of strong company earnings results, including Boeing. This morning, stocks are seeing a pullback as peace negotiations with Iran remain stalled. And Hasbro reported a cybersecurity breach earlier this month that forced it to take some systems offline. This morning, the toy giant gave an update on its recovery. Hasbro says the unauthorized access has been contained and it's making progress to fully restore systems. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, let's talk about refinancings, and let's just bottom line this. Everyone needs money at some point in their life.
You know what, Dave? There's so many different ways you can make money. Number one, go to a lower rate. If you're financed over the last 3 years, chances are you're paying a higher rate than what you can today. Refinance with the Bagel loan, no closing costs at all. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people are concerned not about the cash flow, but overall interest that you're paying. Go from a 30-year to a 20-year. The rates are lower on a 20-year versus a 30-year. Save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And third is the real easy way. You need cash. I need cash. Take cash out. Refinance now. Take the money you need. Keep the payment the same. It's easy. It's simple. All with no closing costs with that Bagel loan.
If you're looking to save money, get a little cash to your pocket, and do it with the right person, give Stewie a call or a text on his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norb Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
We're starting a program here in the upper GI space called PREVENT. That's the acronym, and it's really aimed at trying to detect these cancers early and even to kind of, reverse them and understand kind of the science behind why they form.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. President Donald Trump's acting attorney general has signed an order reclassifying state-licensed medical marijuana as a less dangerous drug. A new study shows that yoga is an effective way for overweight people to improve their cardiovascular health. And Florida's attorney general has opened an investigation into OpenAI's ChatGPT. The probe will examine the AI app's interactions with a gunman charged with a fatal shooting at Florida State University last year. Let's see how things are going out there on the roads. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Megan, they've got the fire out now southbound on Highway 170 between Page and Olive. So that's the good news. Still seeing delays, though, making your way back towards the Rock Road on southbound 170. That's the issue in the Olivet, Ute City, Veneta Park, Overland area, headed down towards on Olive and 170. Headed eastbound on Highway 64, you've got delays now between McKnight and Big Bend. Headed northbound on Highway 270, just a pocket of stop-and-go volume at Big Bend. North of there, just sluggish. Headed up towards Highway 64, and still seeing delays out in Lincoln County, Moscow Mills. Southbound Highway 61 drivers slowing down. You hit the brakes south of Troy, headed towards Moscow Mills. Then you're diverted off the highway at Highway C. Northbound on Highway 61 drivers still seeing delays into Moscow Mills as well, all due to a head-on school bus crash earlier this morning. This report brought to you by i3 Broadband. Spring is here. Time to toss out that dusty treadmill and your laggy cable internet. Upgrade to 100 in-home fiber from i3 Broadband. Plus, we're springing forward with our longest price guarantees on our gig speed internet services. No data caps, just pure speed. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right. Our next traffic update at 8:59, Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be sunny today. We will see a few clouds, breezy and warm this afternoon, a high of 84. Right now, sunshine, 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Illinois has apparently found a way to beat the nationwide school bus driver shortage. Let's find out how this morning. Joining me now is Jenna Schweikert. She's State House reporter with Capital News Illinois. Good morning, Jenna.
Good morning.
Give us a little background on how severe the bus driver shortage was in Illinois.
Yeah, so data was kind of hard to find on this issue, but when I was researching, I just found, dozens and dozens of news articles and press releases, social media posts from schools and parents talking about this issue and what they were doing to kind of combat it.
So what contributed to the problem? A lot of this came after the pandemic, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So before the pandemic, a lot of the school bus driver workforce was made of elderly individuals. And so when the pandemic started, kids weren't going to school and a lot of people retired. And then when kids were coming back to school, all of a sudden, schools didn't have enough bus drivers anymore.
We've seen that in the St. Louis area as well. So you have been reporting on some of the things that schools, bus companies, and the state have been doing to try to address this problem. Give us a sense of what's happening to try to recruit those bus drivers back.
Yeah, so there are a lot of different things that schools have been trying to do. In terms of recruitment, schools and these private transportation companies have been trying to target different groups now, target younger people looking for part-time jobs. They've been giving out hiring bonuses, raising wages and benefits, and trying to just kind of make hiring easier as well.
What about the state part of this as far as requirements for these drivers and some of the red tape that companies have complained they have to go through?
Yeah, so the Secretary of State in Illinois, Alexi Giannoulias, one major thing he did was petition the federal government to waive this under the hood exam where school bus drivers had to identify different components of the engine. But the issue was that school bus drivers don't necessarily need that knowledge anymore. Most depots or really all depots have mechanics and techs to maintain and take care of buses. So bus drivers just didn't need to know that really. And they also expanded access to licensing by adding more exam times and things like that.
What about concerns about just the safety and proper training and screening of drivers when you start relaxing things? How do they answer questions about that?
Yeah, so I mean, that was definitely a big concern when they were tackling this issue. They were thinking a lot about how to make sure that drivers are still safe. And so none of the guidelines that they actually changed were really about safety. It was more about expanding access, letting more people get hired, letting more people get trained, but they still have the same kind of knowledge and abilities that they did before they changed these guidelines.
Give us some more details about, I know you talked with First Student, one of the largest transportation companies in the country. They have offices here in Missouri as well. What are some of the things that they did to try to lure people in and keep them in their workforce?
Yeah, they kind of did the same thing as schools and as the Secretary of State. They worked with both of those groups. So they were doing the same kind of things where they were doing hiring bonuses and benefits, things like that. And one of the major things that they did was they started offering part-time jobs so that people who maybe have kids or they work at another job, they could do a morning bus route or they could do an afternoon bus route, but they don't necessarily have to do both. And so that gives them more flexibility in this kind of position.
So I know in the St. Louis area, some of the schools have had to go to rideshare programs to try to make this work. Where do all these entities say things stand in Illinois as far as stabilizing bus transportation for students?
Yeah, I mean, there are obviously still a few positions open across the state. They're always hiring and looking for more people, but it does seem like generally they have enough bus drivers, or at least they aren't really experiencing the same kinds of issues where, you know, school administrators are having to drive buses just to get kids to school. They've kind of mitigated that part of the issue.
Jenna, thank you so much for your reporting and for spending time with us this morning here on KMOX.
Thank you for having me.
That is Jenna Schweikert. She is State House reporter with Capital News Illinois, and you can check out more on this article on their website. Capital News Illinois, again, is the source of that story. Coming up on Total Information AM, is stress a way of life for you? It is for a lot of people. It's actually Stress Awareness Month. I'm going to talk with Dr. Erica Rutledge. She is a psychologist and founder of Wellness in Actions. That's next here on Total Information AM.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-429-3200. That's 800-429-3200. 800-429-3200.
Our annual Customer Appreciation Days are back. Save 10 to 20% on your garden and landscape needs on April 24th through 25th. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com for more details. KMOX will be live on site Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Total Information AM. Stress seems to be a way of life for many of us in today's world. April is Stress Awareness Month. I reached out to Dr. Erica Rutledge, psychologist and founder of Wellness in Action.
When we think about stress, sometimes we associate it with something negative, like, I don't want to feel this, or I don't want to be stressed. But actually, some amount of stress is good because it can keep us motivated. However, right, like there's a tipping point where we have stressors that can be short term, like, okay, I've got finals or an exam, or right, like I've got to finish this project in my gardening before the spring starts. But then we can also have stressors that can become more prolonged and chronic. And all stress does some type of activation to our body and our mind. So it activates a part of our brain that kind of signals us to, like, okay, maybe we just need to be a little bit more aware and on edge. And again, that is helpful in the short term, but if it's something that's more extended and goes into the long term, that could cause problems. And chronic stress has been associated not only with mental health challenges, but also physical health challenges, because it's a lot of wear and tear, not only on our mind, but our body when we are in a chronically hypervigilant state.
What about for someone who's listening to this and they've really hit bottom? They've really burned out. The chronic stress is too much. How in the world do you climb out of that?
Yeah, I think one step at a time. So it can feel really overwhelming, especially because things don't start coming at you when you're overwhelmed. In fact, your capacity to do things can probably get slower, and you become sometimes less efficient, or having to redo things because your brain is literally screaming, I need a break. And so it can feel really tough. But I think the first signal is just noticing that, hey, what I'm doing is not working or not sustainable, and looking for either, is there something you can take off your plate that you've put on? Is there something that your mind is saying like it has to be done now, but it can actually be paused and kind of put off into the future? So maybe redistributing kind of your task load, and asking for help. So in addition to Stress Awareness Month, this is National Psychology Week. So either looking into if you work at a place where they offer EAP benefits, or looking online for insurance through your insurance companies for maybe a support person, or just talking to a friend about like, hey, I'm just really feeling it right now. Can we just schedule something to just like allow me to debrief a little? Because when we hold it all in, that again leads to this cumulative stress, and we all need to release.
You talked about creating routines. How important are things like a good, nutritious diet, sleep, exercise?
Oh, I think those are definitely the foundation. Making sure, right, like we have all of those basic needs met before we can get to these other next level. But it's hard because a lot of times when we get more stressed, we have more trouble sleeping. And then sometimes people have different stress reactions where either they will eat less or they'll start eating more. And so there becomes, right, like this really hard cycle to balance. I think kind of being mindful of, right, like what your stress response is personally. Like, okay, do I notice when I get stressed, I tend to sleep less? Okay, that's a signal. Thank you for letting me know. Is there something I need to adjust in my life to help either manage this stress load, or is this maybe something that's temporary that's going to resolve over time? And can I adjust my schedule where, all right, maybe I need to move my meetings to be a little bit later because I know it's going to be harder for me to sleep over this next month or so as I have this kind of acute stress. Now, when it's something that has no end date, that will be something where you really have to kind of investigate your life and routines and see that, is there something else I need to switch? And I will also say that sometimes if you need a little bit more support because you're experiencing insomnia or trouble, falling asleep, staying asleep, or kind of waking up at 2 a.m. On routine, that's also a place where you can talk to a health specialist, even talking to your medical provider, and get some more support if this becomes a chronic issue. Because sleep is so important. Getting enough fuel in our body is also so supportive, and movement. And all of those things not only help sustain us, but also help mitigate stress.
How do we start adding some of those things in without creating more stress?
Yes, because so sometimes we can see like, oh, all these things I want to incorporate. I want to, right, like change my diet. I want to start exercising. I would say just focus on one thing, right? Like and integrate it into your current routines and start small. Sometimes we get super ambitious. Just focus on one thing that can be doable in your current routines.
That is Dr. Erica Rutledge with Wellness in Actions. There's an interesting study out of China. It talks about the mental health challenges facing rural kids versus kids in urban areas. Here's correspondent Michael George.
Kids in rural and urban areas can face different mental health challenges. A study in China found that rural children were more likely to experience emotional and psychological problems, including depression, while urban children were more likely to show behavioral problems and ADHD. The reasons why remain unclear.
And hopefully we'll find out more about that. Coming up tomorrow on Total Information AM, there is a high-end antique show coming to Belleville. The people that run this have a really interesting story, and they actually believe that all of these antiques tell a story, and they bring in dealers that can talk to you about the background of some of these pieces. So listen tomorrow morning on Total Information AM. We're going to talk to them at 8:10. Also, I want to alert you to a feature that we've been doing recently on Total Information AM on Friday mornings. In case you missed it, it's a great way for you to catch up on all the big stories of the week in one kind of gulp there at 8:24 a.m. So make sure you join us tomorrow, 8 a.m. here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Opt for Nice Cream instead of ice cream for a healthier option. Nice Cream is a sugar-free, dairy-free dessert made by blitzing pieces of frozen fruit. The make-at-home treat is rich, creamy, and easy to make. Start with ripe, unpeeled frozen bananas. Add liquid as needed and mix in a high-speed blender or food processor.